Functionally what I'm doing.
Months until I'm customizing my pussy lips. I'm very excited.
For fucking the giggles.
Yo, you ain't getting any candy for it, bitch.
I have 1 round left. Just enough for myself.
All right, so now we're recording.
You are
What
correct.
Cool. So here's what's up. This week, instead of being crunk before we got onto the podcast, so I came in already fucked up. Now I just have a cup of wine in front of me. So as the podcast goes on, I'll get progressively worse and worse. That's the plan.
I've mixed vodka and tequila in 1 glass, and that's what I'm
That's
currently enjoying.
fucking strange.
Sitting here with not even water in front of me. I should probably get
I have a
that.
giant ass jug of water with me. I fill one of those like giant jugs of Arizona with water, and I drink those like one of those a day, basically.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
Staying hydrated.
You wanna replace the jug though, because eventually the plastic will start leaching into it. Anyway,
Yeah, I try to replace the plastic.
welcome to the cast. It is
Sup, fuckers?
currently the last day of May, May 31st. The world is not on fire, and we're gonna tell you about video game
depends
news.
Cities are.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah, it depends where you live.
Shh.
It's very on
The
fire.
world's not on
It's-
fire, but our cities are.
Shh.
Not politically taxed.
But haven't you seen almost every video game company has come out with a statement? So it's technically video game news now? I don't
Wait,
know.
what?
I don't
really?
understand it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the condemning of racism.
Well, which I think everyone could get behind. But
Yeah.
Obviously.
let's not.
I didn't know video game companies were tweeting about it.
Yeah.
A lot of movie studios too have been putting out like statements,
And movie stars
which is good.
and Randy Pitchford said, "Hey, download Duke Nukem so you could shoot pig cops." Because pig cops are legitimately a thing in Duke Nukem.
That's awesome.
It's the only awesome thing Randy Pitchford has ever done.
It's
All right.
true. That guy's a fucking rank cunt. But that's funny.
Anyway, let's start with weeks. Now that that's
When
out
he's
of the
not
way.
leaving flash drives full of porn in restaurants.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
It's not alleged. I'll start with my week. This is technically 2 weeks because we missed a week. I've done a lot of things.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about in our weeks, aren't we? 'Cause it's been 2 fucking weeks. I know I do. Kind
I know I don't.
Well, there you go.
of. Nice.
So I
I have a
watched
medium amount.
all of Letterkenny, which is a fantastic show.
Oh, good shit.
It's great.
I wish I could watch it, but I ain't got no Hulu.
The next
You
season.
ain't got no Hulu.
You ain't
I got no
Hulu. Anyway, the next season.
I got no Halo.
Hulu, more like Gulu.
Halo.
It supposedly the next season's coming out in next month, so I'll probably watch that. Beyond that, I played some more. I can never remember the name of the game. Stone Shard. I always want to call it Darkstone, which was that like not Diablo that I used to play on PC, but it's Stone Shard. That game is fucking hard. I've made basically no progress. Essentially, any money that I make just goes into paying for saves because you have to use in-game currency to save. You can only save.
Wow.
You can only save by resting in an inn, and resting in an inn costs money. So you gotta always be working.
What? Damn.
It's a great freaking game.
Like real life.
Yeah. I also played Chess Quest HD because I can't believe that General Mills put that out.
Yeah, it's weird.
All that, yeah.
It's insane. But I mean, it's Chess Quest. It's a Doom clone. It's fine. it's not really much to say. And then I started my from the zero replay of Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
Are you starting over?
Well, okay, so
Raw.
I play the game, and I don't. When I first go through any game that I care about, especially a From Software game, I don't look at any guides. I don't do anything like that. I just play through it. And I got stuck on the last boss entirely because he's really goddamn hard, and it's a hard game. And then I put the game down because other stuff came out, and I was playing that. And so I knew to go back into it just to fight the last boss that I was having
It was
trouble.
a bad idea.
Yeah, I was having trouble beating it when I had like 50 hours of playing the game. So going into it completely with nothing probably wouldn't end well. So I just figured, F it, I'll start from the beginning. This will allow me even like a little bit of a smoother playthrough because I remember some stuff. And I could invest my like stat points, well, not really stat points, but the skill points more wisely. And yeah, that's going the good. That game is so good. Its combat is so good.
Yeah, it's really good. I have the same fear with that because in kind of a similar fashion, but for different reasons. I may have discussed this on the podcast previously, but like I have an issue with not finishing my single player all the time. Like I start playing them, I get to a certain point, and then something fucking drags me away from it, and sometimes I just wind up not going back to it for a really long period of time. So much like you, I have the same problem where like I didn't get to the last boss, but I'm kind of far in, and I'm like, if I go in right now to try to finish it, I'm gonna get dumpstered. Like I'm probably just gonna get shit on because it's been so long since I've touched that fucking game.
Yeah, it's not easy.
But it's so good.
It's so good though.
The game is so fucking good. And I really want to finish it. It's funny you bring up Sekiro because I saw you playing it, and a little bit before I saw you playing it, I was thinking about how I need to fucking finish it.
There you go.
And I really want to do it, but now Dota's eating my fucking life. Anyway, go ahead.
I watched something else too besides just Letterkenny. I marathons. Oh, I rewatched Marble Hornets. And
Wow, the whole fucking thing.
yeah, the whole thing. It's honestly not that
Damn.
long.
Yeah, because they started getting real slow toward the end.
And I think I had this discussion before, but things that really like amaze me about just how the internet has changed is like Marble Hornets was like a huge thing. We all knew about it. I went to college, talked to Sean. I met Sean at college, and all the other, and we were all able to talk about it. All these people from and you look at it now, and they have like 300K views.
Yeah.
And it's kind of insane to think that was like that used to be viral, like world shattering. Everyone see it viral. Now, if you don't get like multiple millions, like what are you even doing? So
Yeah.
So I mentioned that, and I have not described the series at all, and I'm not going to because I know that there's probably a large portion of people that are going to listen to this and not know what that is and not care. So go look at Marble Hornets and watch.
Marble Hornets is good.
Watch the whole thing.
I'll vouch.
It's very good.
I'll vouch. It's good. It's good up until about I would say like near the end it kind of falls off a little bit and starts to get a little boring in my opinion. Like they kind of started to lose the plot a little bit. Early on, it's pretty strong for an internet series. It's got some legitimately creepy stuff in it.
Yeah, if you like horror, definitely check it out. And that was my 2 weeks. Played a lot of games, watched a lot more stuff than anything else.
Damn, that was pretty quick, dude. You were like, it's gonna take forever.
Well, I mean,
like 5 minutes.
I guess the only other thing worth mentioning is that for the podcast, that lost episode I put up, that was the first one, and I used a method to reduce the gaps that are in audio, and it was incredible because I think the raw footage of that, you guys playing Dota, was something like 50 minutes. And just running it through that, and I didn't even run it through it too stringent. It was like if it's less than -40 decibels, just cut it out. and just clicking that button, it went from a 50-minute clip to like a 26-minute clip because
I
there's
think
just so much silence. And then
for something like that, it makes sense though.
right,
you know?
yeah. And then I cut a few other things. I don't think I'm gonna be doing it on the regular podcast because
Yeah, I
there's-
don't think you should. It might get kind of weird sounding.
yeah, there's not that many gaps that we do, and then even the ones that are like kind of long, because sometimes we have a couple second pauses, I just manually cut out because I could hear it, and just get rid of it. I probably won't do a machine one because, I mean, even if you listen to that audio, there are like the way that it flows into each other does sound kind of strange. And being that this is a long audio format type of media, you don't want it to sound strange. A one-off episode, sure, especially when
We want it to sound natural, bro.
right. And yeah, that was basically it.
Cool. Who next? Is it me?
It is now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll try to be as quick about this as possible. I didn't do a ton. I did like 3 things that I think are worth talking about. The first one is I started playing Darkest Dungeon a little bit again recently. Because I think like yesterday or two days ago, they put all the DLC on sale for mad cheap. So I picked it up and I've been playing it. Not a very exciting thing to talk about, but that game is still decent. Still extremely grindy. And the DLC is like a solid 6 out of 10. If I had to rate it, it's okay.
Whoa.
But the new classes are cool. The new classes are very sick. Like the Shield Breaker is really tight. This is extremely old news because I'm pretty sure that DLC has been out for like years. But Shield Breaker is fucking sick, and the rest of the DLC is 50 Shades of okay. I watched a movie called The Witch. Has anyone here seen
The VVich? Yes.
No.
I
You've seen
love
The
that.
Witch?
Yes, I have.
It's good. I was
very good.
afraid no one was going to talk about it.
You
I
should-
think it's good.
Look at everything else that guy has made. Hereditary,
I've seen Hereditary.
Midsommar, all that
Made
shit.
from those
I thought-
people.
I thought The Witch was made by the guy that did The Lighthouse. I thought Hereditary was a different guy. Is it
I
the
thought
same
that was
guy?
the same guy. Hang on, let me double check. Continue anyway.
Check it out. But anyway, well, if you're gonna have input on The Witch, then we could talk about it. But I will admit, it's a really good movie. And I think it does a really fantastic. To preface it, it's a horror movie that's based in like the 1600s or 1700s, something like that. Basically during like witch trial era, like colonization and stuff. And it does a really fantastic job of setting its tone in
Yeah, it's a
its
complete-
time period.
Sorry, it's a completely different guy.
It's the guy that did The Lighthouse, right?
Ignore me. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it's
wait.
the guy that did The Lighthouse.
Yes.
Okay, so it's that guy. But anyway, it does a really fantastic job of like setting its tone and its setting, I think, for like a time period that doesn't get hit very often in movies. I think it does a really fantastic job of setting its pace, so to speak. I don't know how to put this. I don't think when I looked up review, like I don't read reviews very often of movies before I watch them. But sometimes I'll go on like Rotten Tomatoes or something and I'll just look at like the average score of a movie without actually reading like the in-depth review, like the actual meat of it.
Mhm.
And I looked at the reviews for this and I was like, yeah, they're really highly rated. So I watched it. I was like, that was okay. And then I went to Rotten Tomatoes and I read the reviews and I was like, and I'm looking at like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And then I get like past those and there's a fuckload of people giving it like 1 out of 10. 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10. And to be completely honest with you, it's a good movie. It's solid and I do recommend it, but I don't know if it's 10 out of 10. It's cool for what it is, but it felt like I really don't know how to explain it. It felt like it could have been a little bit better. Like it does a really fantastic job of setting its tone and building like its setting and shit like that. And then there's not like a lot of payoff to it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like the moments that are supposed, like what I was expecting when I was coming into it was I was expecting something more like a Hereditary. I was expecting something with like eerie, kind of interesting, like cinematography and like moments that make you kind of question elements of the plot and shit like that. And those are kind of there with like the religious zealotry of that time period and like how you can kind of question certain things. But it's also really in your face about other stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Like the witch stuff. So, and then when that in your face shit happens, it kind of like throws the ability to ask questions about the plot to the side and goes, no, like this is actually what's occurring.
Yeah, trying
like,
not to spoiler it. It's like it feels like through like most of the movie they're like setting up for a twist, but then they just like
and then there's no twist.
There's no twist at all.
There's not really a twist. It kind of goes like, this is the thing, and then you're like, okay, I guess. And like once again, without going into spoilers, like there's like mild elements that you could point at, and you could be like, oh, but maybe this means that like means this instead. And it's but when you think about it more than not at all, it's like certain things just don't make sense unless it is what it's telling you it is to a certain extent. So like the movie's cool, but I wouldn't say that it's like a 10 out of 10. It's good, but it's not like one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. And that's Brandon's fucking hot take review of The Witch. I don't know if you feel differently about it or not. I didn't know you had seen it, which is kind of cool. Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, I'm going to come on the podcast and talk about The Witch, and no one's going to fucking have seen the movie.
Well, I mean, I got the director wrong, so I'm an idiot, so don't worry about it.
But you saw the movie.
Correct.
And that's what counts. The only other thing I've done of note is the Dota 2 Battle Pass came out. So if I don't talk about it, Richie will. So regardless, you're gonna fucking get an earful of this person who's listening to this podcast.
Well, there's a big thing. I don't think anyone's
is.
gonna be like, oh no, that highly popular thing.
Let me preface my Dota 2 discussion with this. We're now cult leaders in Dota 2.
Yes, we are.
We run a cult called the Cult of Pink Eye, which when I went to sleep last night. So to brief explanation, Dota has guilds now as a result of the Battle Pass coming out. It remains to be seen if this is a feature that we're going to be allowed to keep when the Battle Pass ends, or if it's going to be one of the many things that they just get rid of when the Battle Pass ends, because they like to do that for some unknown fucking reason. So we made a guild called the Cult of Pink Eye, and when it's been steadily growing. We invite people. I try to tell them that they should worship Pink Eye and join the cult. And when I went to sleep last night, we had like 25 members, and the guild's cap at 50.
Nice.
And when I woke up, we had like 48.
Nice.
So a fuckload of people randomly joined the Cult of Pink Eye, including a guy. Hold on, let me go look at it right now. This got a chuckle out of me. We have a guy in it who was clearly our guild was meant for, because his name is Pink Cunt, and his picture is a picture of Pink Guy with a cigarette in his mouth. So that guy was meant for us.
There you go. This is what games should be about: community.
Yeah. Other than the cult, the Battle Pass is sick. The rewards are fucking amazing. I'm extremely happy with it. I think Skeleton King is something that I've been asking for an extremely long time. Wind Ranger Arcana is literally meant for me. I'm fucking so excited about that shit. The AM persona might actually get me to fucking play AM mildly in the future. Cool Battle Pass. Problem with it is that a lot of its systems suck ass. And if you go on the Dota 2 Reddit right now, there are many people who are bitching and complaining about various aspects of the Battle Pass, such as the fact that there's this side shop thing, which is basically just Underlords. Like, they just want you to play Underlords in Dota 2, except it's like way worse because because you're supposed to like get heroes and you make 3, and then 3 makes like a level 2 hero, and then like 2 more 2 stars of that hero make a level 3 hero combined with the first level 2 hero and shit. It's literally Underlords, except, and then you turn the hero in for like a resource, and then you use that resource to buy shit, except the really high rank heroes, which are the only way you can actually get the good resource to get any of the awards that matter, don't spawn nearly as frequently as like the low tier heroes. So it's extremely fucking RNG heavy, to the point where, just to break it down, there are items in Dota called Arcanas, right? And Arcanas are like very unique items that change a hero's base model to make it look extremely different and to change a lot of its abilities and shit. It's basically a very fancy cosmetic item, and they're like $35 a piece. If you get 35 gems, I think is what it is, which is you turn in really high rank 3-star heroes to get gems, you can get a random Arcana item.
It's not 3-star.
What?
It's not 3-star heroes.
What do you mean?
Oh, I mean, I thought you meant 3-star as in the 3 tiered, like tier 3.
I'm talking about leveling a hero.
Yeah, it's not. So you know how like there's the green, blue heroes, purple heroes. Yeah, it's definitely not blue heroes. It's got to be.
I know that, but I thought I said high rank, like 3-star.
Yeah, I thought you meant stars.
Like,
yeah, I thought you meant stars is in the hero tier. My bad.
Well, I did, but I said before that you only get gems for like the high rarity heroes, and then you have to get them to 3 stars to like get that shit. Because if you get like a blue hero that's like rarity 3 or whatever the fuck, and you get them 3 stars, you don't get gems. Anyway, the point of the matter is, a guy on Reddit was like, I'm level 1,160, which is huge.
Wow.
Like he put money into his pass to get that high, right? And he was like, all I've managed to get is 16 gems, and you need like 25 or 30. 35? Is it 35? I think to get an Arcana.
35.
So he was like, I only managed to get 16, and I'm at 1,100, level 1,160, which is what most people are not even going to reach.
Right.
And he still can't even get the random Arcana. So that shit sucks. That's predatory as fuck. And I mean, all the other typical like bullshit about the battle pass, like you can't realistically level it high enough to get all the Arcanas and stuff if you just play the game. Like you absolutely have to give them money to get the good shit. You can't trade Immortals anymore for battle points or like other treasures. You just trade them for side shop gold, which I just explained is trash because the side shop sucks. There's like many things, ultra rares that can come out of treasures you cannot buy on the market like you used to be able to. Now you have to wait until the end of the next international to buy those on the market. So there's a lot of fucking things that people are complaining about, and I fucking agree that most of these systems are absolute trash. That being said, they have me buy my dick shaft, and I will give them money for those Arcanas. It's going to happen, even though I hate the systems in place in the Battle Pass. They fucked me. They fucked me hard. And that's pretty much it, unless Richie has input on Dota 2.
Man, are you done with your week? Or is that
Richie in Discord is playing Gladius. Let me fucking blow him up right now on the podcast. clearly cares about our sweet
game
podcast.
Can be on, but that doesn't mean I'm paying attention to it.
Oh, I bet you are.
That's neither here nor there. Are you done with your week?
This is nothing.
Am I done with my week? I mean, unless you have something else to say about Dota.
Oh, well then, I mean, I was going to just run into Dota, I guess, in my week, but I could put in, I agree with everything you said. The systems are kind of trash, but the rewards are amazing. So,
which kind of goes hand in hand with why it's trash. Like they know that the systems suck, but they're like, the awards are amazing, so everyone's going to give us a fuckload of money because they want to be skeleton kids.
My dick is tied, just like Brandon's. I'm not giving them the money as quickly as maybe you will when the
I haven't given them money yet.
Comes out.
This is something that's been discussed off the podcast. Right. I'll say it on the podcast very quickly. I'm gonna give them my Trump bucks. I'm not gonna give them all my Trump bucks.
I swear to God, if you gave them $1,200.
No, I'm not gonna give them that much.
Walk over.
I am gonna give them a fair amount though.
Laughs from his
Oh,
yacht.
I'm gonna give them a fair amount because then I get the Wind Ranger Arcana, which is my fucking favorite hero of Dota 2.
It's only like $200.
It is. It's only 200 to reach Wind Ranger level, which is gonna happen.
my God.
Because that's literally my first favorite hero in the entire fucking game that I've ever had. I'm gonna get that.
The discussions that have taken place off the podcast is that we will hit that anyway, and you don't have to spend all that money at once just because
you're correct,
collectors
but I'm gonna do it.
caches.
And
But
I'm not
you want it immediately.
No, you're not wrong, but I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it.
And you're gonna get the collector's caches, so it's even more.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it after the
it's-
bundle, though.
I mean,
waiting
it's
for the
Trump
bundle.
bucks, so who cares, right?
Yeah, first of all, it's
Still.
Trump bucks, so who gives a fuck? I'm stimulating the economy, and by the economy, I mean
Gaben's yacht.
And secondly, I'm gonna wait till the bundle comes out because there's a bundle every year that's like, here's extra levels on discount with some treasures. So I'm gonna buy that first, and then I'll put whatever. So it's realistically, it's not gonna be $200. It's gonna be less
Listen,
than that.
I
But I'm
mean,
gonna
you know,
You're like Pat talking about Warframe Platinum right now, where it's like I'm saving money by spending
Yeah,
this
I am,
much
but
money.
Anthony, you're right. But the difference is, Anthony, Dota's a good game. That's the difference.
Oh,
So it's
Listen,
fine.
it's true though. Warframe's bad.
I mean,
I'm having fun
give
with
them-
Dota. Whereas if
It's
I turned Warframe on right now, I'd want to pound nails through my cock shaft. That's what I'd want to.
Hey, they did
Anyway,
a lot of
go
good
on.
gameplay changes. There's just no end game, and there never will be.
for a
That's true. It
game
did
for a
improve
game
a
that
lot,
has
so.
given us numerous hours of quote unquote enjoyment, you know, it's whatever.
Bro, I'll be at fucking 4th probably by the end of this battle pass, if I had to guess.
Wow.
I don't like hearing you say that because I'm close behind you. Like,
4th baby. It's
like you're
coming.
ahead of me by a lot, but I'm still got a lot.
It's coming, dude.
Hey,
But yeah,
Trump bucks don't count, right?
I don't.
And we might be getting another check to
Yeah, that's
stimulate the
true. I did
economy
see that.
more.
And I highly was like debating like, Aegis time?
You guys have a
Because
fucking
you know that
problem.
I'm gonna do it, so you're like, fuck it.
You guys have
No.
a fucking problem.
No, it's not. It's Trump bucks, Anthony. The Cheeto gave me money to hand to Gaben. That's what he did.
Yeah, it's true.
He was like,
See,
give this to Gaben.
It is an American company.
My Trump bucks is spent already, but that's not going to take from the fact
yeah,
that I'm going to give them money.
You're gonna
You
give
spent
them
your
Deli King money.
Intelligently.
That's true. I'm going to give them deli money.
You spent
Money
your Trump
soaked
bucks
in the blood of hams.
You bought a computer with your Trump bucks. I'm gonna buy stupid digital aesthetic items for my little pretend digital people.
Listen,
that
don't
make
feel
look-
bad because like the other day I was like, you know what? Let me put like $5 in and get some stuff. You know what? Let me put $5 in and get some other stuff.
buying
I'm like
fucking
5
Mortals
cents.
and
I'm
shit.
like 5 cents shy. Let me get like another $5 in there.
Yikes! You're not even buying levels. That's even worse.
This is just for some like items that I wanted. I told you like quality of life changes because
Quality of life. I don't think.
because
I
I'm
don't think
sitting
that
there with
works.
some of my
I don't think-
heroes and I'm embarrassed.
I don't think quality of life applies to cosmetic items.
You boys need to stop.
Listen,
Hey,
like
I'm
again,
just gonna buy Battle Pass.
Brandon said this is what Brandon told me, and I agree with him. But much like Brandon's dick, my dick is also tied to this game. Gaben laughs from his yacht as he hears me say that sometimes I just look at one of my heroes and I'm embarrassed because it's got no items on him.
Wow.
I was like, dude, you've played into their hand. That's exactly what they want you to say.
And this, boys and girls, is why I will never get into Dota.
No, you get no.
You're in the
Rob,
league, asshole.
Wait.
Don't tell me you don't got skins.
Rob, first
Yeah.
of all,
They give you skins from
Rob.
chests that I don't have to pay for.
every hero in Dota is free. You can turn the game on right now and play literally every hero on the fucking roster, and you never have to put any money into the game ever for
That's true.
anything. Unless you want to look pretty, which if you're not fucking moronic like us, you won't do that. You'll just play the game and have fun.
I like how
At
you imply
least
that
we're
you're
mini.
the minority when you're not.
I am. I'm a fucking idiot.
No.
I'm a moron idiot.
The majority of people are extraordinarily dumb. There's a reason that this is profitable, my friend.
No, I mean, well, yeah, you're not wrong, but there's a lot of people out
right.
there. There's a lot of people out there I see with like low battle pass levels that aren't gonna put the money in to be like level 1,000 by the time this fucking thing is done.
I mean,
Boys, love this
I'm
one.
never gonna put that much money in, and neither are you. And if you did, I might have to question you.
I'm
But
getting the Aegis, Richie. It's happening.
if we get
Second-
another
second
if we get
check's
another
coming, dog.
check, I'm gonna tell you to get the Aegis, just so
Second
I
check
could like
coming, dude.
see it in real life.
Second
Don't
check's
you
coming, dude.
fucking
If I
do
get
it.
a second check, I promise you I'm getting the Aegis. It's
Don't
gonna
you
happen.
fucking do it.
Is that something you'll commit to on cast right now?
Yes.
What is
right
an
now,
Aegis
I will
cost?
commit
You're
to the
getting an
task.
Aegis.
If I get a second check, that's assuming the second check is the same.
You
So
want
it's
to
another
know how much
$1,200.
an Aegis
Yes.
costs?
Yes,
I'll
I
look
do.
up. Like I'll go buy the levels right now. Well, not
Okay,
buy
go
the
ahead.
levels. But
No,
like
well, I
go
know
to
that
the-
I know $200 gets me to like 580. So, and I'm at 100 and
I will.
All right, so
14.
we paid the 50 right for the upgraded pass when it came out. So that's
Yeah.
50.
By the way, hold on. While Richie's doing the math really quick, to explain for people who have no fucking idea what we're talking about, if you hit level 1,000 in your battle pass, they will mail you a physical replica of the trophy that the team that wins the international gets this year. That's what they do.
You know, actually,
So if I hit level 1,000, they will mail me
literally
a replica.
participation trophy.
Yes, if I hit level 1,000, they will send me a miniature replica of the fucking Aegis to my house, which I can then be like, look, I have immortality. I've got the Aegis.
Yeah.
bro."
I'll be honest. I'm a little shocked at how little it costs. Now, granted, we played a bit, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, we're like 10 levels up from where we
Yeah.
started.
So the 50 on top of it, it would be total at level 0.
Uh.
$420.
Oh my god, man.
Ah, it's not bad
That's
at all.
actually not that bad.
Second check is coming. I'm gonna do it. It's
That
happening.
is like a
Brandon,
new
If
console.
I get a second check, I might do it with you.
Oh my.
I'm gonna do it.
Anthony, what would you like to waste your money on? That's not a participation. award?
Mechs.
Yes, actually,
Next.
that's entirely true. I've spent that
I'm-
much on.
I'm actually a little.
Models.
It's gonna
I'm a
buy
little shocked. I
mechs.
thought it was more expensive, like $400. Dude, if I get another 1,200 Trump bucks, I might get an Aegis this year.
Oh,
I
I'm
think I'll
definitely getting an
just,
Aegis. That's not a
I
joke.
think I'll just stack that in the bank with my other money and just put it away.
Invest it.
That's intelligent, Rob. That's a very smart thing
I'm-
to
I'm
do.
a
No,
big
don't
scorer
just
with
put it away.
money.
You need to stimulate the economy. Invest it.
Yeah, that's
Get some-
true.
I'm a moron.
We
Get
are
some
investing in
crypto.
the economy.
My investment is to get out of my parents' house.
I'm a
Fair.
moron, Rob. I gotta buy skins. I gotta get levels. I need them to mail me an Aegis. Gaben, please.
The little bit of money I do make off my 1 to 2 day a week, that's what I spend to have a little bit of fun.
And I mean, seeing as we're still on the question of Dota, probably not this week. Not that it matters at all, but next week, I've been eyeing up buying this Legion Commander Arcana because I've been wanting it for a while.
Wow, you're gonna have. Oh, but you'll never have the banner though.
Why do you got to do that to me, dude? I know I'll never have the banner. All right.
I'm just fucking with you because I know you've said that it bothers you, and I find it hilarious that
It does
bothers
bother
you.
me. It really does. But honestly, even without the banner, she still looks sick with the back from the other pass.
I'm just
So-
saying,
I'm just fucking with you because I find it hilarious that
you
it
could
bothers you.
buy
That's what it does.
$400 of meth and die. I'm just saying. That might be
That's
a
a
better
that's a
investment.
viable option.
I know.
But Anthony, if I don't die, I get to live and look at my Aegis on my fucking wall.
Ooh,
dude.
you know what? I could. You know what? I can
gonna
do
mount
without
that
the
shit.
Aegis.
Why
You know
not
what I
both?
can-
What if
Brandon.
Why
you do
not
the
both?
What if you do the meth out of your Aegis?
That's
Brandon, think about
that's
this.
strong.
Though.
I'm gonna do a line of coke off my Aegis.
There you
It's like-
go.
Wait,
Rim
is,
it.
is the trophy like a cup?
No,
Brandon.
it's like a plate. It looks like
Okay.
a
Okay,
Brandon,
yeah,
though,
then
Brandon,
metal
lines,
plate.
Brandon.
lines.
I was just saying
man.
if it's like a cup, I would say drink out
What?
of it.
Hold on.
My
What's
friend. All right, maybe I won't get the Aegis, and maybe I'll get a couple of these $100 items that have been staring me in the face. Like,
All right, then I'll fucking come and fucking. Ooh, that's not good. I'm gonna throw your computer out the fucking window if you do that.
what? Wait, why?
Why are you
Because
willing to
I-
drop
Because-
$400 on a
Because-
replica trophy, but like
Because at
$100
least
skin?
no, at least the Aegis is a cool physical thing. that marks my like progress in the past. I get this sick fucking Aegis. When OG wins for the 3rd time in a row, I get to be like, look, here's my fucking sick Aegis. Oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. Here's my sick Aegis. That it looks very similar to what they have, and I think it has the heroes printed on it too that they win with, which is kind of sick.
Brandon, but I can get the faceless void head that stares me in the face every day that I can't have.
You could, but then I'll have to fucking disown you for being
I could have the Lena chest that gives her an Iron Man blast.
You could. Then I'll really hate you because I want that shit so bad.
But you got Trump bucks, why don't you just get that?
I do,
Stop,
but I'm not.
stop.
But I'm
This is
to buy
over.
levels. I'm not dumb enough to put $100 into having a fucking laser.
Richie,
Come at Alina.
Richie, what is the rest of your week? We're done with Dota. It's
Trump
over.
bucks.
It's over.
This is a lost episode right here. How would you spend your Trump bucks?
I'm out of my chair and I'm doing squats right now. That doesn't play well for audio, but I am doing squats. As Steam reminds me that Richie's playing Gladius right now. In the
Richie,
bottom
tell
right
me about
corner of my screen.
Gladius. Why does he wear the mask?
Continuing with my week and continuing with my week, you know, besides playing, you know, virtual crack, played some Total War. Been playing a bit with Sean because Sean picked up the game and like a couple of the DLCs.
I saw that. Is he enjoying
There's
it?
like a huge sale for it right now. Did he get it before the sale?
No, he got the
Oh,
game.
thank God.
But he didn't get any of the DLC, so now he got the DLC.
That's good.
He's enjoying it. He actually likes it a lot,
a
which
good
is
game.
fun because at least I have one friend that plays with me.
Oh, goodbye.
Someone play him a song on the world's smallest violin for me.
That being said, I mean, you know, if Sean views this podcast, it does get a little. We're in the beginning game, and I could foresee me getting frustrated because he alt tabs every turn, and I sit there constantly reminding him to click the button for like auto resolve battles that take place not in his turn.
Ah.
But if he would just look at the screen, then we wouldn't have the problem.
This is the part of me that's like, this is partially why I don't see. Look, I like playing Warhammer 2. I was playing it a little bit before the Battle Pass came out. You get on my back for not wanting to play with you, but I enjoy playing these games. Like when I have that game on and I'm playing it, I like playing it at my pace. You know, like I turn it on, I play like maybe 20 or 30 turns. I fuck off and I do some other shit. Then I turn it back on. I play for like another 20 or 30 turns. You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm not super into the idea of playing a co-op campaign because I take my fucking time with it. You know, I don't normally sit down for like 5 hours and just spam Warhammer 2.
The only game I'll spam for like multiple hours is like usually either a survival game or a multiplayer game, like freaking.
Or Dota.
Or Dota. Dota for more than 5 hours, easy.
Play some Dota.
God, the only reason I don't play more Dota is just because I have a job.
Rob, you said you'd try it.
It's downloaded.
He's. Oh.
Oh my God, it's downloaded, Richie.
What are we doing here? We're playing Dota after this cast.
Jesus Christ.
Dota time.
It is
No
not
D&D,
Dota.
only Dota.
No, there will be D&D.
No, Dota.
I got a cavern crawl, Rob.
That's true. Rob, we got cavern crawls. We don't got time for D&D.
Please,
I think I
Boys.
got one token. I still haven't bet.
It will either
this
be
week.
D&D or I will uninstall Dota.
No.
Good.
You can't pull that shit with me, Rob.
I don't give
Like-
two fucks.
Richie, continue with your week and talk about fucking Gladius. I'm gonna turn my Dota on and look at my token.
Stop.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
Total
God.
War. New DLC is awesome. Like it, definitely power creep heavy, but I'm not going to sit here and review it because we've probably talked about it already.
What, the Warhammer DLC?
Yeah.
I don't think we have because we missed last week. Not that I'm encouraging you to talk about it.
Well,
'cause-
no, it's not much to say. It's
I'll
just
just-
the units are very good, and the new lords are maybe a little too good compared to other ones. That's the only thing I'm going to say on it.
I'll just link Mandalore's review. It's fine. Go ahead.
He went in depth. And he got my favorite African warlord in there.
Yes, true. Yep.
But yeah, I've been. This is later in the week, like literally the past like few days. I'm playing Gladius again, and
Which he's playing right now. As
it's
you listen to him on this
I'm not
podcast.
playing. It's on, but I'm not
He's playing it right now.
I'm allowed to have stuff up in my background.
He's playing it right now.
What even is Gladius? I don't even know.
Gladius is a Warhammer 40k 4X from
nice.
Slytherin Studios, and it's good. I mean, like, you could tell it's not like the highest budget game, but it's very fun.
It already has over $100 in DLC. But it's on sale right now on Steam.
Bruh.
Yay!
Welcome to the current age of strategy games in any way, shape, or form.
Don't remind me.
$100 of DLC has become the norm, Anthony. Would you like to have every faction for Warhammer 2 currently, right now? It may be on sale, but when it's not, I promise you that it's over $200 to have every bit of content that game offers you, which is kind of disgusting. To be
Damn
completely...
it, Tower DLC.
Yeah, I was getting into that. Tau were released a bit ago. I just picked them up because they went on sale. And I'm still trying them out, not as we speak, totally.
He is, but that's fine.
But they seem very fun and very cool. I'm actually surprised that for how cheap the game is, you guys haven't picked it up at any point?
Nope.
9.
But it's fun. It's if you like 4X's, then you'd like this. If you like Warhammer, it's like an actual decent Warhammer game. So
something that...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Games Workshop kind of like fried my brain because they went from being super restrictive about the license to giving everyone a license. So there was like a year where like 20 40K games came out, and I like bought like one of them because it's like I don't know which ones are good and bad. Some of them are terrible. Some of them are like okay. Like the new Flight Command or whatever one it is, where it's like, or that looks like dog shit. Holy shit!
I think I brought this up. I think I brought this up either last time we recorded or maybe the podcast before that. I don't remember. But does anyone remember the 40K MOBA that they tried to make?
Yep.
For a little while there. Ooh, hard yike. Which one?
40K chess.
The fuck are you talking about? There was more than one.
I actually have the chess. It's not good. But
it's not good.
So it's like, so I see things like this, or it's like, oh, 40K Gladius. It's like I don't know what the hell that is, and there's a lot of crap ones, so I'm not even.
I'm giving it the, the stamp of approval.
So now
it's pretty good.
Now
if you're
I
into
will
4X's,
investigate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's on sale right now for actually really good price at like $14.
Here's my problem I have with that game. Now, I've never been hands-on with it, so like this is not an opinion coming from someone who's played it. But a problem that I have with it is that I've seen people review it, and I've seen them be like, yeah, it's a 4X game. But if you're assuming that what you're going to get out of this game is depth of a typical 4X game like Stellaris, Endless Space,
no, not at all.
We're not getting that. Or like people are like, this is not Civ 40K. It's more like hex map, make units, fight guy, as opposed to like Empire management. And that kind of scares me away from it because what I want is a cool game where I get to manage my fucking Space Marine chapter and make like cool decisions and shit and like manage stuff.
Download chapter.
That's what I want. I thought about that, to be completely honest, because it looks kind of sick, but it also looks archaic as fuck. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I like Gladius. I think honestly, it not being super complicated 4X is honestly a good thing because like it lets you focus on the war, which is kind of what Warhammer is supposed to be.
Grim Darkness and Millenniums.
I agree with you, but I also disagree. I agree with you, but I also disagree because it's like 40K doesn't just have to be about the war. I feel like the tabletop RPGs and shit have kind of shown us this, that it's like it's an interesting setting. Like there's other stuff going on than just fighting guys.
Like, that's the point of this game, though. It's like to be the war of Gladius. It's not meant to be like Dark Heresy.
You have a game that's like clearly it's not space focused. It's more civish, but 40K. But it lacks the depth of like city management and like various management of like the politics, the inner politics and management of the various subsystems of your faction. And it just kind of turns into make the units fight the guy, which is cool if that's what you're looking for. I'm just saying that I want someone out there to make like Stellaris 40K edition. That's what I fucking want.
Play Stellaris the 40K mod.
I could do that, but I'm just saying, like, Games Workshop should throw the license at someone who's willing to make a game like that. Give me like an in-depth fucking space-oriented 4X game based on fucking 40K. That's the shit that I want, dude. I'd kill for that. That would be sick.
Regardless, I like the game. If you like 4Xs, it's good. If you like just making the units and fighting, it's very cool. The factions have a lot of depth to them, honestly. Like with their units. Very complete rosters.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
Plus the DLCs that add races and shit like that.
but like again, I'm learning like the Tau, and honestly, Anthony, I think you'd like playing the Tau in this game.
I like playing the Tau in general.
Yeah, well, I mean, like very like just their mechanics
Except for
are
6th and
focused.
7th edition and 8th edition. Sorry.
Yeah, their mechanics are like very around Overwatch. And
Makes
being
sense.
like next to each other and firing Overwatch. They legit have like a support system mechanic for like their suits. They like let them add systems.
Nice.
You get like a lot of drone play, like your like units can deploy drones. It's very cool. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Like it represents what the army is like on the tabletop very well, and like in lore, it's very spot on.
I think that was a problem with me, is I never adapted to that, because like drones went from being absolute waste of points trash to like very good, and I never really switched over to that. But anyway, this isn't a tabletop review. Continue.
I'll get on that fucking.
Yeah, well, that's
We
all
will.
right. Like I
We
said,
will. That's why.
I'm still like playing with them, like trying to understand them. But this game's good, and I mean, while it's on sale, if you are interested and had Trump bucks to throw away, $14 of your Trump bucks isn't necessarily a bad deal.
You trying to wink at me and my fucking Trump bucks right now?
No, I'm trying to say like, hey,
Yeah.
people have gotten extra money. What's $14 for a game?
Tell you what, I'll buy that game when they put Dark Eldar in it. How about that?
I was perusing. There you go. There's a word of the day. I was perusing the discussion boards, and I'm actually on their Discord too. I believe the next faction up for DLC is going to be normal Eldar, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it's cool, but they're not as cool as Dark Eldar, so that's the problem.
I mean, they're both cool. Why do we gotta like live in this ultimatum world?
I'm fucking with. But for real, put Dark Eldar in it, and you'll get my money. Until you do that, and unfortunately, they'll be called Drew Carey instead of Dark Eldar. But,
Don't remind
put
me.
him, put him in. Yeah, no, I reminded you, but put him in, and then you'll get my money.
Because the Imperial Guard are called Astra Militarum in this game.
Well, the
Here
Tau
comes the Drew
also
Carey
have
DLC.
the
What?
stupid
Space
apostrophe.
Marines? Yes, Space Marines are Space Marines, though. They're not Adeptus Astartes.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting.
What are they?
yeah, Nids are in the game. Surprised Nids didn't, tickle your fancy.
I stopped being like I like Tyranids, don't get me wrong, but I stopped. But like Tyranids were never my first faction. Like I wanted to play Dark Eldar from the start, but they didn't have a starter pack. So I was like, fuck it, I'll get Tyranids because it's better for the money. And plus Matt was funding our first fucking starter packs, so we could all get into it that day in the fucking hobby store. So I was like, Dark Eldar don't have a fucking starter pack. I literally can't play unless I play something else, so I'll just get Nids. So I did. But I like Dark Eldar way more. So if they put Dark Eldar in that shit, I'll be all over it. But they won't before Eldar and probably literally everything else.
Well, Space Marines, Imperial Guard, Necrons, and
They'll put
Orcs
Sisters
are
of
in the
Battle in
game.
that shit long before they put Dark
Yeah.
Eldar in. I'd be willing to
The
guarantee that. Which that could be.
The DLCs are Tyranid, Chaos, and Tau. So if Eldar are next, I mean Sisters maybe just because it's been a few Xeno DLCs, I guess, but. And then Dark Eldar, Chaos Demons. I don't know.
Sisters of Battle are kind of hot right now, bro. They put them in that fucking cinematic trailer.
They're pushing them super hard.
And then unfortunately, which I'm sure we'll get to this at some point in the news, but they had to ruin the fact that Sisters of Battle got some attention by putting a Space Marine in 5 seconds later. We couldn't just let Sisters of Battle have their moment to do something cool. We have to sell models. Here comes the Space Marine.
Let's wait for this. Let's wait for this.
I know. Go ahead. I'll bitch about it more in a little bit.
We still need to do Robbie's week. We're running out of time.
My week was pretty long,
No,
so
fuck it. Who says I need
Podcast.
anything?
I'm a little
Rob's week
shit.
was he stared at the black corner of the basement we keep him in.
Yeah. I got one. I played Minecraft Dungeons.
nice. The fuck is that?
Diet
God.
Diablo.
Cool.
There's literally no mining or crafting. It's just Diablo.
But with Minecraft.
weird.
skin. Yeah. It's
It's
not
like
bad actually.
it's like they're cashing in on the name or something.
Yeah. I wonder why.
It actually
Does it
is not
support
bad.
RTX ray tracing? 4K
Oh
textures in my pocket.
My
My glowstone looks so pretty.
For the past 2 weeks, I've been grinding dungeons, playing League, Deep Rock, and working my 1 to 2 days a week. That's my week.
Nice.
God, you're so fast.
Thank you,
Literally
Robbie.
Fucking 5
Let's
hours.
get on with the news.
I'm erect. All right, let's go, dude.
So,
Making it easier to grab.
so thankfully last week there wasn't a lot of news. Unfortunately, the week before that we skipped, there was a shit ton of news. So I'm gonna kind of do this in reverse. In that I'm gonna start with things I don't think we have much to talk about to try and knock as much as possible out.
Let's go.
Amnesia Rebirth is a thing.
You just said Amnesia Rebirth. You didn't even read the fucking story, did you?
I
Here's what's
didn't.
up. Thanks. Amnesia Rebirth, apparently they said they're going for a different kind of horror this time. They've been inspired by what they did with Soma. So it's going to be a little more
Ooh.
story driven and a little bit less like just, here's the spooks, like Dark Descent kind of was.
I could talk about Soma
that's the
and
gist
its
of it.
implications for like
I
literally
fucking
8
love
years.
Soma. Soma's so fucking sick, dude. All right, that's me.
So pretty good. Bloodborne, hyper rumored to come to PC, also recently announced all the David Cage games coming to PC. So you got your
All of them?
Detroits. Okay, maybe not all of them, but you got your main ones. Well,
They announced a
Main
while
ones.
back that Detroit was coming to Epic Games Store, but that was like a long time ago. And I think Fahrenheit / Indigo Prophecy has been on Steam for like years. So are they putting like Beyond and Heavy Rain on PC
correct
as well?
and correct.
Nice. I mean,
guess
those games are
kinda.
trash, but like I'm not. But still.
Heavy Rain was pretty good. It was mainly let down by the fact that you can't influence the story at all.
Yes.
Um,
Beyond Two
oh,
Souls,
you just-
however.
You just call
Is-
Indigo Prophecy trash?
Yeah, I did. Beyond Two Souls is legitimately fucking gross, though.
Yeah, come on, dude. You just have to kill yourself to be in friends with your family.
Yeah, you
again
gotta
with
kill
that.
suicide. First of all, suicide is not frowned upon in Beyond Two Souls. It's a good thing that you should absolutely do, according to David Cage. And secondly, let's just put fucking Ellen Page in like 5 different fucking rape scenes. It's not weird at all.
Let's also body scan her and make an actual nude model for use in game that we'll censor later.
Yeah, slap some boobs on that because we want to do that for no reason. Even
That
though
was
you're
a
not
dude's
gonna
job. Some dude was paid
Yup.
to do that.
Some guy had to model Ellen Page's tits and vag for like however many work hours.
Could be worse.
Yeah, but it's nonsense.
I mean,
Was that-
I
was
could-
that
it could
not
have been
needed?
worse. I guess there's worse things people have been paid for.
It's a little creepy in the sense that no one had to do it because they never showed that.
I didn't know Epstein wrote code. Anyway, Call of Duty Black Ops, a new one. It's going to be about the
David
Cold
Cage
War.
has absolutely been to that pedophile.
Yay!
G2A, stolen keys. I don't know
Yeah,
about
apparently
this.
they actually fully admitted to reselling stolen keys for games, which is something that they've come under fire for in the past, but staunchly denied. And for some reason, I don't remember the gist of the news story, but they have come out and said that they do it. So everyone's going fucking nuts. And it turns out that G2A is the shit company that we all thought that they were for
Nice.
many years.
Awesome. Just use GOG. Cthulhu is in Smite.
Yes, that's cool. I'm excited
Pretty neat.
for that.
Unfortunately,
I
I'm not going to play it.
Smite, but I played Smite for a little bit back when like it was first out. Like
I will be trying Cthulhu when he comes out.
OG Xbox source code leaked. I'm
Oh my
excited for that. That's so cool.
I don't know anything about this, but
I mean,
it's pretty cut and dry. So
Yes, sir. BlizzCon canceled.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
It was like a mercy killing, honestly.
It's like BlizzCon's dying anyway.
I wonder.
Let's use the virus as an excuse.
Hold on, wait. Can I ask a question about this? Did they straight up cancel it, or are they gonna stream it or something?
I'm pretty sure it's canceled, but I could be wrong.
They're not gonna like stream anything.
I mean, I'm sure they're
was
gonna
canceled, not delayed, or
I'm sure they're gonna
Alright.
release like things they would have, like a new trailer or whatever, but they're not having the event. So
Because like the fact that they're not, because if BlizzCon was happening, like we were probably gonna get new Diablo news, and I would assume like Overwatch 2 news, and the idea that they just wouldn't give us that as a result of BlizzCon being canceled is kind of nonsense. Like we're probably gonna get that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. We'll see. THQ Nordic developing 118 games currently? I thought they went bankrupt. What the hell is this?
Holy shit.
That's code for we've licensed these out to other developers, and they are developing a grand total of 118 games. Or by development, they just mean, oh, we can legally say that we're developing 118 games because like 112 of them are just concept art.
Yeah, 100.
And we're
And another 5 of those are like Steve pitched a pretty good idea and we wrote it on a sticky note.
Yeah, and one is actually being completed.
Other quick news is Doom Eternal removes Denuvo. We did it, gamers.
Hell yeah, gamers!
Fight the power.
Gamers rise up.
You know what? I mean, I say that, I use that phrase mockingly, but honestly, like, really, this is a good thing. This is great. People should be, you know, like, I understand that it's a luxury good, and there are more important things in the world, but that doesn't mean that you have the right to be fucked in the ass monetarily, so, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was a shady thing to do, and it's cool to see that when people complain about it, even a shit company like Bethesda nowadays can go back and change.
I fight tooth and nail to assume that like majority of this is all the good decisions are ID, all the bad decisions are Bethesda.
Oh yeah,
but that's
just, possible.
That's just my headcanon.
I highly doubt it has any fucking say in whether or not De Novo stays.
I don't know. I could see them being primarily in charge of the patches, so but
maybe. But I bet that's publisher decision.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that it is. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to bet that it is.
Valorant releases in June.
Yup, it's coming out soon. Apparently, the last day of beta was either today or yesterday, which is hilarious because I got a beta key and I never fucking played it.
Other quick shit, real quick. Joe Rogan is now on Spotify. We're a pop culture podcast, so that matters.
I actually think I can talk about this really briefly. I think this is kind of a big deal because as someone who is kind of an avid watcher of the Joe Rogan podcast, it's interesting to see this happen because one of Joe Rogan's biggest sticking points with YouTube is their kind of censorship of his podcast. Like when he has certain guests on or shows certain clips, he can get in trouble with YouTube. Like having people like Alex Jones on his podcast is a bit of a risk. Not that I'm a supporter of Alex Jones, but it is fucking hilarious seeing that guy just go insane for like 3 hours on Joe Rogan's podcast. Or when they show like certain clips, they're just not allowed to do that. Like he can look at it in studio mid podcast, but they can't put it on screen because YouTube. And so the move to Spotify, especially when he's the biggest podcast in the fucking world right now, is actually kind of massive that YouTube just lost that.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge.
I think that's it for kind of our quick stories, honestly.
Let's get into the thickness.
All right.
Let's go.
To get down with the thickness, this one is kind of short because I'm pretty sure that I'm the only one that followed it, but I want to mention it, is so Phantasy Star Online was released 10 goddamn years ago. Never came to the US.
Online 2, you mean, right?
Yeah, Online 2. Never came to the US for 800 different bullshit excuses. Finally comes to the US 10 years later as a Windows Store exclusive. Which is
really unfortunate because it means you have to have Windows 10 to play it, so I can't play it.
Yes, same here. I really wanted to play it. I actually like Phantasy Star Online. And
I would have played it. I would have played it with you.
I like Phantasy Star. Period. And Phantasy Star Online even more. Cast is the master race. Anyway, its launch has been a dumpster fire of proportions that I just want to describe to you because it will
I
make
don't
you
know
guys
anything
laugh.
about this.
So, the problem with the Windows Store is it's primarily made for shitty mobile games because that's what majority of its traffic is. So it does a
Yeah.
lot of stupid shit when you try to release like fucking actual games on it. For example, if you try to save the game in anything other than your C drive, it installs it in that location and then also your C drive.
Wow.
Nice.
And this leads to problems because sometimes when installing big games, this game is 70 gigabytes.
Yikes.
Things can go wrong on the
Ouchie.
install, especially nowadays. I used to remember installing a game and it would work, and now sometimes you install a game and it's like, oh, error in the cache, need to reinstall it. Another feature of the Windows Store download is if it gets interrupted anytime during the download, it goes back to 1. So you lose all of let's say you did 69 gigabytes and it like your power goes out or something, you're starting the download at 1 kilobyte. You're starting it right back at the beginning. And this has led
1
to
gigabit.
This has led to hilarious scenarios where people install it on not the C drive, and then the game also installs on the C drive, and then it encounters a problem, so it reinstalls the game again. So people have versions of this game that are like 200 plus gigabytes because it's just installed itself like 4 or 5 times. And also, if you don't install it on the C drive, sometimes it just deletes your data.
Nice.
It'll just uninstall itself randomly.
Nice. Probably because it considers the C drive install to be the actual install,
Also,
even if you tell it to install somewhere.
Also, this is a smart idea, again, when you think of it as in the realm of an app store, is it likes to install backups of the files, which again means that you could have it installed 3 to 4 times on your computer in order to not be able to run it once.
That's absolutely gross. I literally wouldn't be able to play it. I have 7 gigs on my fucking C drive right now because it's my SSD that's not nearly as big as my like 4 terabyte hard drive array.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to install it right now,
Yep.
even if I had Windows 10. That sucks.
Yeah. So it's been crazy, and there's a lot of rumors that it's not because of how terribly handled this has been after waiting 10 years to even bring it over. There's a lot of rumors going around that it will not be Windows Store exclusive for long.
Good. I fucking hope so. I think that was confirmed though, wasn't it? That it's supposed to come to Steam eventually. We just don't know what that means.
Correct. So a recent update, the way that servers are done in the game is that they're referred to as ships. So your server is one congruent ship that you launch your missions of, and you can actually see the other ships if you like look around on like the starport. And people notice in the latest patch, the fleet doubled in size, and people think that that's a very strong
game server.
Yeah. Either Steam or a lot of people are also thinking they're going to be getting that Epic Game Store money because money is delicious.
Oh yeah, that's a possibility. I don't know.
I'm right there with you.
I'd be shocked if it was Epic Store exclusive, but even if it is, I'll try it. I'll play it. I want to play it. I wanted to play it when I heard that it was coming to PC in the States, but like this Windows 10 shit's kind of cucking me, so I can't do it.
And it's super insane because this game, it came out 10 years ago. It was made for like Windows 7. There's no reason that it should not be able to be played on everything.
It's because everything that goes to the Windows Store has to pimp Windows 10, dude. That's the way it was for a long time. And then Microsoft was like, well, no one's buying our shit, so let's put it on Steam and support every OS. So now you can buy like Master Chief Collection and play it on any fucking OS.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
If you can play it.
Dad sits here with Windows 10.
Bro, I literally can't install Windows 10 because the last time I did, I got a massive memory leak issue when the upgrade was free and I couldn't fix it. So I just said, fuck it, I'm going to go back to 8.
My next system is definitely going to be Windows 10, but yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, but your next system will probably have hardware that supports Windows 10. I have some kind of fucking confliction that is causing me a massive memory leak that fucks my whole system up when I upgrade. And it's not good.
So yeah, that's I guess kind of a silver lining because I want to play it, but haha.
I'll make you promise, friend, when that comes out on Steam, and assuming I can play it on Windows 8, I will play that game with you because I want to play it.
You guys,
I'm excited to play that
game. You got to be cool robot men, or you can be furries, or you can be just a normal person, or you can be an elf.
It's true. Richie can put them all on the island. He can do that.
Yeah. Become part of the cast master race. Put everyone else in our island that we grow trees on.
The fucking
That's the lore.
Possible.
What do you call it? I played
Anything is possible, my friend.
Was it Phantasy Star Universe, the one that was on 360 that everyone says is bad? I think that's
yes.
Yeah. I liked it though. I don't know why everyone hated it, but I like that game. So
I played a PSP Phantasy Star. I thought that one was good.
I remember back in the day when Phantasy Star Universe was coming out, and there was a PlayStation magazine, I think you showed me, that was like, yeah, dude, PSU's coming out, and it's gonna be multi-plat. It's gonna be, you can play with people between PS3 and 360. It's gonna be insane. And then that didn't actually happen.
No.
That was like that was one of the first games that ever talked about multi-platform shit, and then it just died. They were like, yeah, we're gonna do it, and then it never fucking happened.
Nope, not
They
at
just
all.
stopped talking about it completely.
Next bit of news. System Shock 3, Marvelous First Studio, and Xseed are now majoritarily owned by Tencent.
There's not, I mean, personally, there's not a ton to say about this other than the Tencent empire grows stronger by the day.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I really have to say about it is kind of tangentially related. Like, this gives me an excuse to talk about System Shock 3. Look, I love
to bitch about the Chinese.
Shut the fuck up. Look, I love Shodan. She's cool. She's been the antagonist for 2 games now, and she was like a secret antagonist in the second one because the main antagonist was the many until it was like, just kidding, it's me, Shodan. Can we fucking drop Shodan? Like, System Shock does not need Shodan.
No,
right?
It's listen.
I'm the hacker going nah right now whenever someone Shodan shows up.
Bro, Shodan is like Halo's Cortana. You know, it's the Cortana of System Shock. You can pretend that she dies or whatever, but she's gonna come back.
Look,
because people like the character.
Yeah, but
so you can't kill the character.
Yeah, but I don't like that when it's an antagonist that can only be an antagonist. The thing about Cortana was that, like, you got to watch her grow with Master Chief, and then eventually she became kind of an antagonist, but not really.
A shitty antagonist.
No. The antagonist thing was completely out of nowhere.
Yeah, the antagonist thing sucks ass.
But what I'm saying is you can explore the character. Could you imagine Shodan's entire thing is I'm going to be a god and rule over you pitiful creatures. Like, where do you go with that character from there? It's like, how you can't retread the same story every single time. This isn't Call of Duty or Madden. Like,
I listen. I agree with you, but there's something to be said about no one who's developing that game or publishing that game currently, which would be Tencent, I believe, right? Are they publishers or did they just buy the develop?
They just bought majority share. I think they have like a 30% stake in the company or something like that.
All right. Well, regardless of the situation, no one who's developing that game or publishing that game gives a shit about whether or not you think that Shodan shouldn't be in that game for plot reasons or like overuse of the character. All they know is that if you print Shodan's face on the box, it will sell copies because people like Shodan. That's what they're thinking.
And again,
about.
I like Shodan too. It's just, I don't know, as a plot centric element, it's rough. Maybe if she wasn't so like killed in the second one, you know, I'd be more comfortable with it.
I agree with you. I'm not saying I disagree with
definitive.
you. I agree with you. I think it would be cool if they moved on from Shonen and did something else. But it's like when you're bringing back a series like this that's been out of the public eye for so long, it kind of makes sense, I guess, from like a marketing perspective to be like, let's put Shodan on the box. Mm-hmm. It's System Shock. Shodan's on the box, the hypothetical box, because no one, you know what I mean. But Shodan, she's gonna sell copies.
Yeah, it's true.
People are gonna invest in that fucking game because Shodan's on it.
Look, I have a lot of impotent rage, okay, and I have to rally against the
I know.
market that is
I'm
going
bringing you down
away
to
from my
realism.
will.
I'm grabbing you by the dick and I'm
Yeah.
dragging you back down to reality. And I'm like, look, man, it sells copies.
You got me by the short hairs. And again, I can acknowledge that, but still not like it. That's really all I had to say.
Shodan's cool though.
She is. She's super cool.
Look at you, hacker,
Roaming through the
grabbing
halls.
me by my cock.
Any input? Are you guys fans of System Shock?
Listen, Richie's too busy playing Gladius right now to fucking talk about System
Not
Shock.
playing Gladius. All right, maybe I'm playing a little Gladius. But I actually know nothing about System Shock. I've never played it.
You should play it, or at the very least, watch Ricardo Shock.
Has nothing to do with System Shock.
It has a lot to do. What are you talking about?
You'll learn
Anyway,
nothing about
Respawn Entertainment opens a new studio for not Titanfall 3, the fucking bastards.
This is depressing. You want to know why this is depressing? Can I explain why this is depressing?
Go ahead.
Sure.
So
Explain
first
that.
of all, here's why this is depressing. I'm sitting back in my chair right now. Here's why this is depressing.
Rip.
It's depressing because when Apex came out, I believe people from Respawn were quoted as being like, no, we're totally still working on Titanfall. It's
Mhm.
definitely happening. We are still working on Titanfall. I could probably go find like old articles of that shit right now of people from Respawn being like, yes, this does not mean Titanfall is dead. We're still working on a Titanfall game. Fast forward, how long has it been since Apex came out? Like a year and a half?
About.
Yeah, let's
I
say.
think like a year and a half. And now here we are with Respawn fully admitting that all of that was horseshit and a complete lie. And they're not working on Titanfall at all. And instead they're just completely focused on Apex, which I kind of understand because the game prints money in a way that like Titanfall never will.
Well, okay, so
depressingly.
here's the thing. Titanfall is cursed because both times...
No, Titanfall. No. Titanfall's not cursed. Let's get this shit right. Titanfall's not cursed. EA fucking killed it in the crib. That's
Yeah.
what they fucking did. It's not cursed. EA was like, we feel like fucking over our own develop. I'm standing up right now, by the way. I'm doing squats again. We feel like fucking up our
Why are
own
you doing
developer.
squats? I'm
I don't know, because I'm a little drunk, Rob, and I'm fucking getting into the story. All right, it's like
He's
let's
feeling it in his legs.
let's kill Respawn real quick by releasing Titanfall 2 within like a week of Battlefield 5. What
And
could
COD.
go wrong?
And that happened both
You're a bunch
times,
of
even the
fucking pieces
first
of
one.
shit.
I mean, granted, the first one had other problems because a lot of people were really uncomfortable with online all the time at that point in the stage. But now no one gives a shit, which is another
I mean, I
mark of
still
just
care.
the fucking industry is going to shit. God damn
Listen,
it!
dude,
I need to drink
there aren't-
more.
There
I
aren't
mean,
many
I care
things.
still.
There aren't many things in the gaming industry. I mean, like there are. Don't get me wrong, but it's not too often that I'm like, wow, that disgusts me.
Mhm.
Like that is fucking gross. And the way like EA has treated Titanfall is gross. Like it disgusts me. Titanfall and Titanfall 2 are two of my favorite first-person shooters of all time. Those games are
Mhm.
fucking incredible.
They sure
Titanfall
are.
2 especially. It's such a fuck. Titanfall 2. I've heard amazing things about the campaign of Titanfall 2. To this day, I have not completed it, but the multiplayer of Titanfall 2 is fucking phenomenal. It's such an upgrade from the first game, and the first game was already amazing. Those games are fucking amazing, and the
Yep.
fact that EA takes a game like that and just smothers it in the fucking crib when they are the publisher of said game is fucking
was
gross.
Was it EA at the time, or was that when they were with Activision?
No, it was EA. It's always been EA. I don't think
Oh.
it was Activision. It was it was absolutely EA because Respawn is split from their ex-COD developers. That's
right,
split.
right. Okay, yeah. Because I remember they got bought by someone recently. I can't remember.
No, I'm pretty sure it was always EA. And EA fucked them both times hard in the mouth, which is so fucking gross because those games are perfection. They're literally like Call of Duty, but better.
Yep.
Just
sure
they're
are.
COD, but just 10 times better. And then COD was like, wow, we should just ape some of this shit and put it into Advanced Warfare. And then they didn't even do it as good.
Yeah. No.
That Titanfall 2 came out and it was even better. And no one cares, even though those games are fucking perfect. literally like perfect fucking multiplayer competitive first-person shooters that no one gives a fuck about because EA like wants to release it within a week of one of their other biggest fucking titles of the year. So they were like, let's just fuck it. Let's fuck all their hard work in this amazing first-person shooter. I don't want to rail about this for fucking 5 hours, but it boils my blood because I love Titanfall.
I sure do.
Makes me real fucking angry, dude. It gives me girth. It gives me a rage hard on.
It makes you do squats.
Boiling, yeah. I was doing squats and I have boiling blood in my cock.
You
That's
should get
just
that looked
shooting
at.
out.
Oh my god. Wow.
Shooting out.
Cock blood explosion.
Song name. Gran Turismo 7 leaked for PlayStation 5, and also Sony's having a big reveal on the 4th. Maybe we'll finally fucking see the console. Yay!
That would be cool. I hope it looks like a dumb spaceship.
There's so many like dumb mock-ups I've seen that I'm kind of excited for it. The newest one I saw one that was literally just the Xbox One, but with like white and blue, which I'm pretty sure that one was fake. And then I saw one that it was a lot like the Sega CD, where it looked like a PlayStation 1 with like the top opening, but the top opening was merely a design and it just had a slot built into the side. But yeah, who knows? We'll find out the 4th, and look forward.
I hope it looks like the dumb spaceship.
Look forward to our coverage of that. The 7th.
Am I in the minority where I like the spaceship design?
I think
that
it's
we,
hilarious.
like,
'cause
put
it looks
out?
weird.
What the
It looks like a
V
building.
spaceship thing?
Yeah, I think that like design looked awesome.
Yeah, I think it looks neat. I think the hidden genius of the PlayStation 4 design gets overlooked a lot. Just because since it's like a trapezoid, it's even a trapezoid to the back, so like the top thing overhangs on both ends, and because of that, you could never push it against a wall in a way that it blocks the intake and exhaust vents. It always has breathability thanks to the vents, and that's so fucking ingenious.
That's a fair point. I never thought of that.
It's very, very neat. So like I mean, Mark Cerny clearly doesn't know how to make a presentation, but he's a pretty good designer. So it'll be interesting to see it. If we see it, let's hope to God we freaking see it. I don't know.
I just googled.
Could you imagine?
I just googled PlayStation 4 to remind myself of what it looks like because I never owned one and I forgot what it. And here, I'll put it in the
I'll put
Camel
this in
thing
the
real quick.
podcast.
Apparently, people are down with putting that on their PlayStation and skinning it like that for some reason.
Interesting.
So that's literally like one of the first things that comes up when you type in PlayStation 4 is someone wants to put naked Jessica Alba on their fucking PlayStation.
I could think of worse things. Twitch deer.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Here comes the.
Please, someone explain this to me.
Here's the big.
Do you mind if I explain it? Because I think it gets.
No, yeah, explain it. I think
Okay.
I think explain it in a nice, like, clean cut way, and then we dig in.
Yeah,
How about that?
There we go.
As the resident gamergator of the Camels.
All right. Well, you didn't have to say that.
Well,
but...
I would like to place it where it's like I could see this from a lot of fucking angles. So, essentially, Twitch starts an advisory board. Twitch has gone on to say that it's just an advisory board. They're not actually making any potential decisions. It's just kind of like an advisory. They hear opinions. They don't necessarily have to do anything on it. Whatever. Some people will be against that, just that. But then they added this person to the advisory board. I actually don't know their legit Twitch name, and it's probably for the best that I don't put it. But suffice it to say, they're a deer, and they have had just that will make them controversial. Let me leave it at that. But then they have these very weird opinions where it was found out that they're against voice chat because it is oppressive to the oppressed minorities, LGBT, blacks, etc.
There's a little more to it than that too. She was like, "Oh,
because-
it's also a competitive edge for some people."
Right.
As a
but
result
that's
of-
as a result is because the more silenced voices are not able to speak up. Thus, if you institute voice chat, the voices that
Or
will
silenced voices can't use voice chat.
correct.
Hold on, we'll get there. We'll get there. Because there are aspects of this I legitimately like understand, but I
Right.
still disagree with.
Right. And honestly, I think that's just kind of like a shield for kind of the argument. Like they're just kind of propping up the argument. It turns
Well,
bad
let's explain it fully.
when well, I mean, that's kind of what it is fully, is that so if you're on a team that is able to communicate, you are at an advantage versus a team where no one talks. That can't really be argued. Yeah, that's obvious. And so then you add in kind of the social element of where it's like there are oppressed voices and people less likely to talk, such as
There's more to the story though.
these
Like before
people.
we dig into that aspect of.
Well, yeah. And so essentially, so this comes out, people of course are like, I disagree. and then that turns into they went on this weird anti-cis rant, which is a weird thing for me to even say. But yeah, just essentially anyone who doesn't like it is white and able-bodied and shouldn't have a voice, and all sorts of other very controversial things.
Also, they were caught. They were blatantly caught with someone they went to a tournament with, and they were like, "We used voice chat."
Yeah. So hypocrisy on top of it too. So
There's also another aspect to it, which was that when they were what was it, when they were being called out for some of this and getting a lot of hate, they had that one Twitch clip that got passed around quite a bit of them being like, I should be feared, like you should fear me. That's like part of the Twitch council, which rubs some people the wrong way.
right.
I can't wait to ban all of you. Like get you all blocked. Yeah.
Is that about it?
That's
for that
about it.
explanation?
I think
As
that's all the facts.
yeah. So suffice. I mean, I'm against advisory panels to begin with. I think that there's too many freaking people to try to like rein it in, and I'm totally down with that internet anarchy, and
Let's not.
well, I mean,
No,
I'm
no,
just
internet
saying.
anarchy.
Well, I'm
I mean-
saying that.
I played enough Dota
honestly,
to tell you
like,
that there's
who
some-
knows what's actually happening, because again, we're not a political cast, but I guess this is internet news. I mean, like Twitter, Trump's going against Twitter now. Like,
social media in general.
Yeah.
Basically
got the
regulating
executive order,
re-
which will never hold up in court, but he's still doing it.
regulating Article 2030. And he said that he wants to straight up repeal Article 2030, which Article 2030 is the host is not liable for whatever a user posts on it. And his executive order, I personally think, is awesome because I like internet anarchy, but again, that's me. Essentially is, hey, if you only remove illegal content, you're protected under 2030. If you moderate, which, could lead to biases, then you're not protected by Article 2030 because you're taking it on yourself to curate your content, which means you are liable for the content on your website.
I feel like we're getting mildly off topic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Probably stick to Twitch, dear.
I just wanted to explain that because it came up.
All right. So let's talk about Twitch.
Needless to say, there's a lot of misinformation about that. So
Let me phrase my opinion on this real quick. Let's start with this. I don't care. This is quite, because we had a bit of a discussion about this off podcast, like in text,
Yes.
when one of us had first shared this.
Yeah.
And I'll basically
said
just kind of,
this because I thought I was like, do we want to even breach this?
which is fine. I do think this is something that could be discussed, and I'll just kind of reiterate what I said in text, and then we can go into it further if we want. I don't personally give that much of a shit about a Twitch advisory panel. In fact, if you want my opinion on it, I think it's, as long as you have a lot of people who are level-headed, I think a lot of people on Twitch would be better with other Twitch streamers kind of policing shit rather than the corporation that is Twitch handling it, which can always lead to some questionable decisions, as we've seen in the past with some people.
The problem what you just said is like if people remain level-headed, that'll never
Right,
happen.
right. No, and I fully understand that. So let me continue. But that's the premise, is that if you get a lot of people who are level-headed, then it's good. I'm not saying that that's possible. I'm just saying that it's good in theory, right? On paper, it makes sense. The problem comes in with this person where it's like, I don't give a shit about. I couldn't give less of a fuck about the Twitch deer thing, like the furry stuff on stream. I don't care. Like, we joke, haha, Furry Island, whatever. It's a joke. I don't give a fuck about the Twitch deer thing. That has nothing to do with this. I don't care about the fact that she's trans. I'm not fucking transphobic. I personally think it's a little gross to be like, you disagree with me, so obviously you're a cis white male. That's kind of fucked up. But I don't give a shit that she's trans. That has nothing to do with it. My problem is with her opinion on voice chat and the shit that she said in the first place. I'm one of those people who's like, what? Like, what the fuck are you on about? I fully agree. She's right, 100%. And I said this in the text when we were talking about this like 2 weeks ago. She's 100% correct that like women, in particular women who talk on like voice chat in games, get treated really fucking awkwardly, and it's kind of gross. Like, I've seen it all the time. I see it in Dota, I see it in Overwatch, I see it everywhere. When there's a girl who's on my team and she uses the mic, and then suddenly one dude on the team starts treating her a little bit differently, whether it's like toxic or it's like brown nosing her because she's a female, that is gross. And I could only imagine that if I was a woman playing a game, that I may not want to talk as frequently because of that awkward situation that could arise.
You got the
because of the
incels
fact,
and the simps.
Yeah, because of the fact that someone hears me on my team as a woman and then they start treating me in a very awkward fucking fashion. So she's not wrong in that sense. However, to go out and be like, we just shouldn't have voice chat in competitive multiplayer games as a result, it gives certain teams who don't have that issue on the team a competitive advantage, is like one of the most brain dead fucking things I've ever heard in my life. Maybe instead we should just get better as a community and not be like toxic, gross pieces of shit who treat like women or other weird, situations that could arise as a result of the way someone sounds on mic in a strange fashion, and then we won't have this fucking problem, and we don't have to have these. No, of course it won't happen. Once again, I'm not saying I'm fucking delusional. That's not going to happen. But I also think it's insane to be like, no, we just shouldn't have voice chat. Just Valve, please do me a favor, patch voice chat out of CS:GO right now, because if a woman talks on it, then everyone's going to go insane. And the idea that
all
she
the boners go erect at the same time.
The idea that she wasn't expecting backlash from people when you say something like that is absurd to me.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
I think what it was is that she had built such a following that she was just like, I'm untouchable. My following will protect me. Twitch is now backing me. There's nothing, as she said, I am untouchable.
Yeah, maybe a bit of an ego thing leaked in.
Yeah, it's become to the point where you said it's fine in concept with level-headed people, but this person has shown, at least this one person on the board, to not be level-headed in that sense.
Yes, and this is a perfect example of a person who probably shouldn't be on the fucking panel.
But I don't
like,
think...
and that's not because she's trans. It's not because of anything to do with the fact that she might be a furry. It's just because she clearly has a little bit of an abuse of power issue, and the fact that she says these crazy things like, we just shouldn't have voice chat, and then when people disagree with her, she can't take an argument well enough without saying something crazy like, you should fear me or whatever, and like threaten to ban people as a result of them disagreeing with her about her opinion on Team Voice.
Like, I think it's safe to say
it's not a transphobic issue. It's not.
I think it's safe to say that we're not the most level-headed people. We certainly have very strong feelings. Sometimes we stand up and do squats. But even where we're like,
I do squats all the time. I'm doing squats right now. Here I go.
There's parts of our arguments that are legit, and there's parts of our arguments that are that. And if we can do it, but she can't, then maybe you shouldn't be on an advisory panel.
What's it? Let me also make this loud and clear. Anybody, because I guarantee you that this happened as well, is that anybody who took to Twitter, like to this person's social media, and like harassed them because of what she said about Team Voice, you're also a piece of shit. You're a rank cunt.
And
no, you are. If you
the only reason I go is that the definition of harassment is so vague is I'm sure that there
No,
are
it's
plenty.
not vague. Let me allow me to be extremely clear. If you went to this person's Twitter and you were saying like transphobic shit or like anti-furry shit or whatever, it's like don't be hitting on someone's lifestyle because they said something about Team Voice that you disagree with. However, if you levied a really level-headed opinion at them about the fact that taking Team Voice out of games is insanity, then that's fine.
Yeah, if
You know what I
made a
mean?
legitimate argument, then that's not harassment.
And it's
Right.
like to kind of deflect all of that and say something crazy like, "Oh, well, if you disagree with me in regards to my opinion on something like Team Voice in a video game, then you are like a cisgendered white male. You just don't get it," is bonkers.
Mhm.
Like I'm a white dude. I completely understand what she's saying because I've seen it in my fucking games, and I try not to be that guy that acts like a piece of shit when like a female uses the mic in one of my matches. You know what I mean? I've seen it firsthand. I totally understand what she's talking about. I disagree with her fucking opinion. We should not just be like,
Right.
"Oh, Team Voice shouldn't fucking exist." And I'm not a piece of shit for disagreeing with her on that. And I don't think that she should be like talking shit to these people and saying things like, "Well, you just don't get it because you're a white dude, and also like you should fear me." Like that's fucked up. And maybe that kind of person shouldn't be on an advisory panel. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with her fucking like gender or the furry shit or any of that.
And it's weird because like I've seen the reverse. Like I remember playing Destiny, and it's an MMO without open voice chat, and how insanely hard it is to get groups and to do the raid
Oh yeah.
and all
Imagine
stuff
that
like that.
future.
Like
where
yeah,
every
imagine
game is
every
different.
game is like that. Like holy Christ, no thank you. You think you want what you want, but you don't
then you-
actually
Yeah, you
want
really
that.
don't.
Yeah.
You
I
get
would
what you
love-
fucking deserve.
I would love to live in the perfect future where people can use a mic without fear of someone getting real awkward and annoying as a result of who that person is over the mic.
Mhm.
We're never going to get that, but I don't think the answer is to be like, "Well, we should just remove Team Voice from every game." Like that's insane. And to say something like that and not expect backlash is crazy and like
Yeah.
kind of fucking delusional.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
Richie, Island verdict?
I mean, of course, Island. You know, it doesn't take away anything said
Island or
here.
not
Like,
island? What is the decree?
I don't know. I'm kind of with Brandon. I mean, I think we're all necessarily on the same page.
Mhm.
Don't be a cunt.
There you go.
That fucking
Both
live by
sides.
that law. Don't be a cunt
The camels are
or
not.
a rank
Sorry.
dickhead.
We try not to be.
I mean, I can be, but not
yeah.
not in terms of transphobia and harassing people online. However, I will tell you that your opinion on voice chat is trash,
There
and you
go.
should have expected backlash. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, next bit of news. The Cyberpunk prequel is delayed. I didn't even know this was a thing, and it turns out it's not.
Let the game get out before the prequel gets delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like are they putting the cart before the horse there a little bit?
Probably.
What is the prequel anyway? I'm a little like lost on this. What is this?
Yeah, I'm lost on that shit too.
What
I
is
don't
it?
Understand.
Is it like a
No
what is
idea.
it? Is it like a comic? Is it like a prequel game? What is this?
Hang on, I'm looking for it to reread.
Please tell me you get to play as Keanu Reeves.
Oh, is it the RPG?
It's
The
called
tabletop
Cyberpunk
RPG?
Red.
Oh.
From Talstorm
Oh yeah, it's the
Games.
RPG.
It's a tabletop RPG. Okay, yeah.
This is the thing I posted, and I was like, I'm kind of excited about this.
Yeah, it is because the game that Cyberpunk is based on is, I think, Cyberpunk like 2033 or something like that. I can't remember, but basically, the Cyberpunk game takes place after the established canon of the tabletop game. So this is kind of bridging the gap. This is updating the tabletop game's lore to the video game's lore.
Yeah.
But it has been delayed.
I'd be willing to try that
Hell yeah.
when it comes out.
Can't be as bad as Shadowrun's mess of rule system is.
True.
No way.
Learn German if you want to play that game. That's what I've discovered.
Sorry, what?
So Shadowrun okay, let me rephrase this. Catalyst Game Labs has terrible game developers, and but luckily they have these weird publishing deals, and the German version of the game, not only does it get, you get certain liberties to the license since you have to retranslate it and some things don't translate smoothly, so you kind of need rights to be able to change things. Well, the German version of the company has rights to even change the game rules. So it is the popular opinion of people on the good folks at Traditional Games on 4chan that if you're going to play Shadowrun, play the German version because they fix the game. The devs put in the man hours to actually make it playable and not a contradicting POS.
Wow. That's really weird.
Unfortunately, you have to learn German because the second it gets translated into English, then it is violating copyright. So, yeah, learn German.
Rob, run Shadowrun in German.
9.
Ah,
Nice.
Dunkauf. Anyway,
Excuse me?
Dunkauf. I said it very weird though. I had a very big space and probably a terrible accent. Mein Lieben. MK11
Schnitzel.
has been changed. Schnitzel. Strudel.
Your Deutsch needs a little work there, mate.
No, it doesn't. It's perfect. What are you talking about? Flawless accent.
Yeah, flawless.
Brandon, you want to take us away on the MK11
Yeah, I'll
changes?
I'll try to explain it very briefly without boring anybody, but the basic gist is MK11's always had this issue with armor on certain, not just on certain moves, but also on there's a thing that you can do in MK11 which is essentially like a combo break. So if you're being comboed and you have to be in juggle state, so if a combo is happening to you and it leaves you grounded, which is something some characters have, you actually can't do this, which makes those kinds of combos really strong. But if you're being juggled, you can flip out of it. So basically it's like you hit down and whatever the fucking defensive meter burn button is. He peed. I waited for you. I didn't keep going. All right, you ready? Here we go. So anyway, MK11 has this issue, as I was explaining, that you can combo break combos, but you have to be in juggle state. When you are in juggle state, you can do this little flip out where it kind of like brings you from the peak of the juggle back down to the ground, and there's armor on it, so the combo just stops essentially. And in some situations, it's kind of fucked up because you can actually be at advantage after you do this flip out. So you can literally get punished for comboing someone just because they had the meter to flip out of your combo, and people hate it. So now what they've added is this system where, and by people hate it, I mean some people hate it and some people don't give a fuck. They've added this system where if you read it coming, you know someone's going to flip out of your combo. You can punish it with like an armor break move in the middle of your combo and kind of just put them right back into combo. It's very Killer Instinct. It's like very counter breaker kind of shit, where like someone tries to combo break you, but then you do a counter breaker because you know they're going to go for it, and then you get to keep comboing them. It's kind of like that. Here's the issue with it. It's good in theory because the game kind of needs it because flip out sucks. The problem with it is that much like crushing blows, some characters armor break moves are just better than others. This is a problem that MK11 has had for ages, where it's like since it's come out, where like some characters have crushing blows that are just better. Where it's like one character can have one that's super fucking just annoying to try and pull off and just convoluted, where it's like, oh, I've got to do I have to do this specific move at this specific time like 3 times, and then I get a crushing blow on the third one, and then after I get that crushing blow, I don't actually get combo. I just do like extra damage and I send them flying across the screen. Whereas some other characters are just like, oh, I just have to hit them with this normal like 3 times, and if I on the third hit I get a crushing blow and it pops up and I get full combo. And it's like it's not equivalent, right? And now this armor break move has the exact same issue where you watch someone like Sub-Zero do it, and all it is it's like, oh, I read that you were going to flip out of my combo. I hit you with a kick. I get extra damage because it's basically like a crushing blow. I get extra damage, and I send you flying across the screen. Cool. Some other characters, like I can't remember if it was Scorpion or someone else that they showed it off, or maybe it was like RoboCop or some shit. I don't remember. But some other characters read the flip out, hit you, and get full combo. They get like a free pop up and they get full combo. So it's not like I foresee a very similar issue to the crushing blow issue coming, where like some characters have armor break moves that are just incredible because they lead to full combo, and some characters have armor break moves that are just trash because it's like, oh, I get essentially a crushing blow, I get like 50% extra damage on this move, and I send you flying to the other corner of the screen. And that's basically the gist of it. It doesn't look like a particularly well balanced mechanic. It's something the game fucking needed, but it's repeating the same mistakes that the game already committed in the past. And I don't understand why they're doing it the way that they're doing it. I don't understand why everyone just doesn't get combo state after they successfully read a flip out. Learn from Killer Instinct. That game is fucking fantastic. Why do you keep fucking up your games with these trash mechanics? What are you doing? That's me.
My take on it was that I assumed that everyone was just getting an anti-armor move, and I already heard that it was a very turtley game, so I imagined it would have gotten more turtley because now your armored Russian moves no longer work. And it turns out that's not true. It's like you have to play the game to have opinions. Sounds okay.
It really is. Yeah, it really is mostly a Killer Instinct like counterbreaker system, which, as I said, is good. The game needs something like that because flip out sucks. The problem is that it's not equivalent across the roster. Like some people's are going to be great, some people's are going to suck ass, and that's just the way it's going to be. I don't know why they're doing it like that, but they are. In other news, real quick before we move on, Fujin looks sick as fuck.
That sounds good.
Fujin looks dope. Fujin's like a combo character. He looks like he's playing MKX and everyone else is playing fucking MK11. So that's kind of sick. But the rest of it's kind of trash.
Next story is Death by Daylight has a Silent Hill kind of what is it, add-on,
cool.
I guess, update.
Very exciting. Very interesting.
I love that. The game itself, awesome. The fact that they're putting Silent Hill character into it, also cool.
Which, to exemplify, we only have the one still image, but it seems like the monster you'll be able to play is Pyramid Head. And,
there's a trailer. There's a cinematic trailer.
Oh, I didn't watch that. Oh my god.
Yep. There is a 44-second or something like that cinematic trailer.
And what is very clearly Ashley is the player character. So
Heather.
Heather. Who is Ashley?
It's Heather. I don't know.
I have Ashley Graham in my head. Who's that?
That's Resident Evil 4, isn't it?
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, that's the present.
Whoa.
Nice. Cool. My brain. Awesome.
Yeah, it's Heather Mason. Which, by the way,
Mason,
allow me to add a little interesting detail here. First of all, I find this really cool because this is something Silent Hill related. It's unfortunate that it's not an actual Silent Hill game. Apparently, we have to license the shit out to other developers to get anything even remotely good at a Silent Hill nowadays, but that's fine.
Konami doesn't make video games.
Nope, they don't. They just make pachinko. Allow me to point out how kind of cool it is. And I marked out a little bit at this. It's such a minor detail. It doesn't fucking matter, but I think it's really neat that they put Heather Mason in the game as the playable character, but they don't call her Heather Mason. They call her Cheryl Mason, which I think is really neat.
Yeah,
that's a really
neat.
cool fucking detail because it's
like
her
that.
real name. Like they didn't. That's like post Silent Hill 3. She goes, "I'm gonna use the name my dad gave me. I'm Cheryl." Like that's fucking cool.
Yeah, that's actually super cool.
They didn't have to do that. That's a really neat attention to detail that they didn't have to do, and it's really unfortunate that someone else had to do it for Konami. Like someone else had to do something exciting with Silent Hill, but it's not Konami.
Well, yeah, of course not. Konami is too busy not making video games, and then the one time they made a video game, it's a Big Titty Bomberman for arcades only. So
Big Titty Bomberman? I'm sorry, what?
Oh yeah, look that up. That shit's crazy.
I don't want to put that in my Google search.
Oh, it's gonna be a gargle search. Let me tell you. But yeah, it's called Bomber Girl, And fucking Konami, man. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I have no idea.
I don't know. Another thing that's kind of interesting about all this is I don't know how to take it. It's like we've talked about this on like previous podcasts, like the last 2 or 3 podcasts, about all this Silent Hill rumor shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And Konami keeps coming out and being like, or they came out once and they were like, nah, dog, it's not happening. Kojima's not making Silent Hills. Please stop getting excited. But then we get this.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is this? Because it feels like, is this just fan service? Or are they just like, well, people want Silent Hill shit. We're trash at doing it. Let's have Dead by Daylight just do a little neat DLC that we get some kickback from. Or is this a hint that they're doing something?
It's an obvious sign someone cares.
Yeah, someone. Well,
because if no one cared, they wouldn't even sign off on it. Like, I don't know if it's the Dead by Daylight guys went to Konami and was like, "Yo, we could do this pretty easy." I don't know if they had any input on maybe the characters or how the animations looked. Like, maybe they had someone look at it. Maybe they didn't. Maybe the Dead by Daylight, the devs just fucking knocked it out of the park because they're fans. And they just asked for permission, and that was the extent of it. But, I mean, it's clearly on the radar. Maybe this was spurred on because of all those rumors, you know? Like, maybe this is
possible.
Why those rumors came out, too,
Yeah.
was that people heard, you know, someone was like, something, we're doing something with Silent Hill, and then rumor mill took it to, Konami's getting it, and it's going to Kojima, and it's his new
misinterpreted
project.
Misinterpreted rumors. Like, they thought it was going to be a new game, but it turns out it was Dead by Daylight DLC. That's entirely possible. The alternative way you could take it is this is Konami doing like pseudo promotion for whatever they're going to announce in the future, which is probably not the fucking case. But one could hope.
I could hope. Yeah, I sure can hope.
One could fucking hope that Silent Hill is dead.
Yeah, one could certainly hope for that.
All I know is that when I read that fucking article and it was like, yes, new player character Cheryl Mason, I was like, dude, that hit me in the feels.
That'd be cool if instead of the claw thing that eats you in Dead by Daylight, like he put you on the hook and then what's his name, Verdugo, comes down and just like picks you up.
Oh, Voltiel?
Voltiel, yeah. He's like,
that would be sick, but that's not gonna happen.
No.
There's no way.
That'd be really good. Kind of related to that, talking about rumors that are not the rumors you think, is that supposedly it's been leaked. It's okay. So some guy is writing for Famitsu, which is a very popular Japanese magazine, and he's like, "Yo, fucking Sega is about to drop some world-shattering shit." And I didn't leak any of this in the Discord, but I mention it now because this story reminds me of it. And I honestly wasn't going to talk about it because this is literally the extent of what is known. As he says, Sega's going to do something crazy. Read my article about it when it releases next month. Which means it could be nothing, and he's just puffing up his article, or it could be something he says revolutionary. He says on the level of, I think it was EdgeNet or Forbes coverage of the initial PlayStation 5 spec sheet leak. So people have run wild with that, and the biggest kind of consensus, which is wrong, I'm going to put it right out, is that
Dreamcast 2?
Oh!
Not Dreamcast 2, but that Microsoft, the Xbox brand does not exist in Japan.
Ooh.
So what if we partnered with Sega, which does make hardware, and we release the Xbox as the Sega box in Japan?
Sega box.
That's not happening.
Correct.
More than likely
but
not.
But yeah, a lot of people, the rumors, because I mean, it involves tech. It's not like deals or influence or anything like that. And a lot of people are assuming Microsoft bought Sega and things like that. But there's nothing really to support that, and we'll find out.
That's really interesting.
Sure. But it is a really neat idea where it's like, hey, our brand is poisoned in this region. What if we pay another company to just slap their logos on it? You know,
yeah.
It's very interesting as an idea.
I don't believe it.
Correct.
But it's certainly interesting. I am curious what that actually is, though.
Well,
Is it
unfortunately,
Dreamcast 2 or is it like?
and people have kind of shut down Dreamcast 2 because I think in the article he was like, it's not Dreamcast 2, but
Okay.
but
What the fuck could it be?
Engage
What
2?
earth-shattering thing is it? Oh, please.
They
I'll
go.
fucking throw that. I'll buy one just to throw it in the trash.
But I mean, it is. Come on, like right now, handhelds are dead. Vita, no one bought. Nintendo just pretends that the 3DS doesn't exist anymore because of the Switch, and the Switch is not a strictly handheld. So it could be the time for Sega to strike and be like, "Hey, here's the new handheld platform." It's
I
not
feel like
impossible.
that would be like.
Play Sonic on the go and all the other.
I feel like that would be. I feel like that would be company killing. If they put like if they no and I don't even mean that as a joke. Like if they put out that handheld and it doesn't succeed, it would kill them. I don't think they would do that.
Yeah,
'Cause
Sega's
didn't,
not exactly in a super strong state.
I remember I was watching. It was recently. It was like a week or two ago that the best friends were talking about some ad Sega made where they basically said straight up like, "Here's like the Sega mascot. We're fighting against bankruptcy." Or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah,
specifically
Sega
that they were-
Sega Centro's son, I believe.
Yeah. And they quite literally basically came out and made like sort of a joke about it, but alluded to the fact that they're like, yes, we are fighting bankruptcy. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like Sega's not been doing great. They haven't been really putting anything out that's interesting. Basically, all they do nowadays is publish creative assembly games, and that's probably like the only money that they're making.
Mm.
I don't know what else they're doing that's good. Oh, and Yakuza. Yakuza as well.
The new
Does well.
Yakuza's gonna be coming out soon.
Yeah, but that's like the only two things. Like the Sonic games are dumpster fires. Like what else do they fucking do? They don't have anything good like hardware wise nowadays. I assume Sega's in on that pachinko shit over in Nippon because everyone's into that shit.
They're currently busy helping botch Phantasy Star Online 2's launch. So I mean,
that's true. I forgot about that as well. So that's like their 3 sources of income plus pachinko if they're in on that shit. But it's like I've been under the impression that Sega's been kind of doing shitty for the last like decade or something like that. So I feel like the gamble of here's a new handheld is a little
yeah, but I don't know. Who knows? It is actually a pretty good time to do it, but this is literally all speculation. All the things we just mentioned is speculation.
I'm standing up again. I'm kind of doing squats. I'm also gyrating to my left and my right just a little bit. Get ready.
I got the image. Yeah.
I'm gonna put. Are you ready? I'm gonna put the tinfoil hat on.
Go ahead.
I don't actually have one near me, but I'm gonna put it on real quick. Okay. Are you ready? All right. Virtua Fighter. It's coming back.
Ooh.
New Virtua Fighter.
For the PlayStation 5.
For the PS5. Well developed. Evo ready. Ready for esports. Virtua Fighter.
Knee.
Big elbow.
Big
All right.
elbow.
With that, I'm gonna go take a piss.
He's gonna take a piss. Virtua Fighter. That's all I'm saying, dude.
I mean, that's possible.
It's not gonna be the case. No announcement on par with PS5 specs leaks is going to be Virtua Fighter related. It's not possible. But tinfoil hat.
Another rumor that I read that could be part of this that I thought was interesting was bringing back Sega Channel, which is a huge reach back. That was back in like the freaking Genesis days.
What the fuck is Sega Channel? I don't even remember that.
Sega Channel was super cool. We don't remember it because we didn't get to experience it because it required cable internet back in the time where we didn't have cable internet.
Ooh.
But what it was this is like, okay, so here's the thing. Sega is a dumpster fire of a company. They came up with some ideas that were so far fucking ahead of their time that it's insane. Like, I mean, Sega CD was ahead of its time, all that type of shit. So what Sega Channel was it was for your fucking Sega Genesis. It was a cartridge that you would plug into the system, plug the system into the internet, and download games onto. And it was a different game each month.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to download a game?
Probably forever. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Only a whole day. And by the time you got it, it was ready for the next one. It was like, oh, well,
Yeah, that month
gone.
is up. You
You're
get to
fucked,
play
bud.
it once. But yeah, it was like a subscription thing that you paid for, and I guess it didn't pan out, but
Wow, that's insane, dude.
yeah.
It's like ancient Stadia.
Yeah. And I mean the benefit was that like after you downloaded it, you played it locally, so that was cool.
Right, yeah, it was physical. More like ancient Steam, but with a
Ancient
monthly subscription
Netflix
service.
for games.
Yeah. Oh god, what's that service that is just
Gamefly.
Netflix for games? Yeah, there you go. Ancient Gamefly.
Yep, which I don't think Gamefly even exists anymore.
Do they really not?
I'm pretty sure. Let me check.
To Google. They still have a website?
Oh yeah, I mean that's strong.
Yeah, still a thing.
Oh, it shut down the streaming service.
Anyway, that's interesting.
And then-
Dreamcast 2. Tinfoil hat, Virtual Fighter. Let's go, dude.
And then our final bit of news, the biggest piece of news, best for lads.
Uh-oh.
40K. 9th
Oh, let's
edition.
go.
Oh God.
Richie can stop playing Gladius. You can fucking talk about 40K. Let's go. Look, he turned it off even. Thanks, Discord.
Notice that it's off.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I have Discord up, so I see that you turned it off.
Okay, so all that's been actually released has been a CG trailer, which was interesting.
It-
I feel like it was weird.
I
weird
could
about it.
complain about it, but you know.
So the parts that are weird to me
Go ahead, complain.
is that first off, there's a lot of Sister of Battle's love for that in that video, which I'm totally fine with. Sisters have needed love.
I think are you about to complain about the thing I complained about before we even started? recording?
Kind of. So sisters do a bunch of things, and it's cool. And then not just Space Marines, Primaris Marines show up, and then fight the same thing that the Sister of Battle was fighting, and job while the sister makes it to the end. And there's also like a very final scene of the sister next to a Primaris Marine, and the scale is completely off. She's just like a little shorter than him.
Well, how do we know that those are supposed to be Primaris Marines?
I could tell by
Do we know that?
the helmet and the armor.
Okay.
But even then, I guess it could be argued. But I wouldn't be surprised they just released a new line of Primaris Marines if they're pushing that Primaris Marines. But that's the only thing I have to complain about, is that in the trailer, sisters are fucking awesome compared to Primaris Marines when they're supposed to be like the big dick OGs. And
I think I
and
like
then
my
the scale is weird.
my biggest
but that's
issue
it.
with it is that we can't allow anybody else to have a moment in the sun without a Space Marine coming in and just like shitting all over it. Like
Nope.
the trailer, I was watching the trailer, I was like, this is awesome. Sisters of Battle haven't been in the fucking limelight forever. Like I realize why they're doing this, because Sisters just got like some new shit not too long ago. But like it's awesome. They're in this trailer, they're doing cool shit, they're fighting Necrons, and then it's like a Space Marine comes in and kills the Necron, and I'm like, oh okay. We couldn't go one fucking trailer without having a Space Marine show up. I get that they're like the poster boys of 40K.
It's 40K. Of course, there's got to be a Space Marine.
Right,
They
but why
make up
can't we just let the
50
Sisters of Battle do
because
cool
they make
stuff?
up 50% of the sales, Brent.
Right, exactly. That's the fucking like the realistic reason for it. I just hate it. Like we
Yeah.
can't allow fucking Sisters of Battle to have one trailer where they get to do the cool fucking thing, and we have to have a Space Marine come in at the end and be like, "I solved the problem,
I
and
can't
I'm gonna
wait.
fight with."
I can't wait for the new battle box, which is Space Marines versus Necrons. As judging by the trailer, maybe you'll get one sister model, maybe two.
I literally I sighed a little bit when I was watching it. I really did, because I'm sitting here staring at my TV and I'm like, oh, this is really fucking cool, dude. Sisters Battle are doing cool shit. Like I like that. I don't care about this fucking edition probably, but like this is neat that they're fighting these Necrons. This is really cool. And then a Space Marine comes on screen and I'm like, oh okay. I mean that I guess I should have fucking expected.
And as for the edition, the only little bit of news that came out of it is they released a partner video, which is cringy as fuck. And I don't use that term a lot. I don't like the term cringe, but it was like
I agree.
they
Please explain.
they literally do it as like a top 10 list where it's like the top 10 awesome changes to Warhammer 9th edition.
Oh yeah, I saw it. The one that was like animated and
Yeah.
shit.
And then
Yeah,
even
seen
the
it.
first one wasn't even a plot point. Like it was really just like the 7 things that we changed, but the number 1 is like we made it cool. Okay, number 2. But anyway,
Okay.
they reworked vehicles. Now they can shoot in melee, kind of. Aircraft getting reworked, deployments getting reworked. Apparently, you can do any table edge now. It's your choice.
Second. Weren't vehicles already able to kind of like shoot in melee? Weren't they ever like they weren't never like locked in combat? They were able just to pivot and shoot.
I guess it means that like that their melee action is their shooting. I don't know. I never
What-
really
what
played
happened-
8th, but
Yeah,
this
that's
is
what I was gonna
just
say. What
this
happened
is
in 8th?
just all that the video says is like they make a mention where it's like they're not stuck in combat and they get to shoot.
Yeah, I watched the
So I
same
don't
video,
know.
and I know exactly what you're talking about. And like in 8th, because you're right, in the editions that we played, tanks and shit couldn't get locked down. They just walked out, like they just drove out and then could do whatever the fuck they wanted. But in 8th, when tanks switched over to toughness and wounds, did they get caught in melee? Was that a thing?
I have no idea. We know.
I'm
the
sorry. I'm
stuff.
sorry if you're one of our few listeners. I'm sorry that we're gonna rail on 40K for like 15 minutes, but just gird your loins.
Reading the rules a long time ago, and I believe I played like one game of 8th before Anthony decided to like trash his army.
I was waiting
Um,
for it. Armies, plural.
Yeah, armies. Sorry.
When we quit playing
we didn't use
40K,
vehicles though. So
Shall we describe
Sure.
that really quick before we continue?
What?
That Anthony threw both his armies in the dumpster instead of like giving them to one of us or selling them or whatever.
I think I described it, but just to put it into words again, we started late 4th. I started with Tau because I like mechs.
No, we started in 5th. I don't think we started in 4th.
I thought it was late 4th, early 5th.
No, I think it was early 5th. We started early 5th.
I started.
But
the
your
end
book
of
was
it.
old.
Yeah, my book was mad old. It had target priority rules for Christ's
Yeah.
sake. Anyway, so yeah, we started whenever 5th, let's say. I do know that we played primarily 5th because we bitched about.
Yeah, it was
Grey
early. It
Knights
was
more.
early 5th.
Yeah. And
Drago.
then I was really happy where they were in kind of 6th until they became too good. Like I liked the General Army update, then the actual codex came out and it was like just run Riptides and that's it, and then you win. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And that's when I started picking up Imperial Guard, or I might have picked them up a little bit sooner and was running mixed detachments of Tau Guard ally. And then I switched to just playing Guard, and then 8th edition dropped, and Guard were the broken OP guys, and I threw both of my armies in the trash. I literally...
I
had
will listen
Where
to
they
Richie.
belong.
2 full
Richie.
armies into the trash. I didn't sell them. I didn't lend them. I didn't give them to friend. I threw them in the garbage. I kept one model, which is a single stealth suit sergeant.
Richie,
There's like
Richie,
a vein
I will
popping
back
out of my head right now.
Richie, I will back you up on this
Screw.
until the day that we're both ancient and in a fucking nursing home. That it doesn't really make sense that he could have just gave it to one of us. Or
I
fucking
was
sold.
taking it. My closet has become the holding ground of everyone.
I hate Tau. I would have took it anyway.
Monument to our sins.
just to have the option to play it if I were still playing the game. I would have taken that shit off of you.
Oh well. I was done with the hobby. I didn't need it anymore. I'm fine. Anyway.
Right, but you understand the point, right?
I
Is that
do,
like
I
instead of
do.
throwing it in the trash, it could have still been used by people who may have played the game at some point.
And even if it wasn't those
That's all-
specific armies, then proxies and stuff, I understand.
But boys, in the end, it was his choice.
And it was a
Let's
lot of
do it.
fucking money that you just threw
Yep.
in a dumpster.
Just
Oh,
literally lit a
God.
torch to it.
That's awesome. You should have.
Is it? But anyway.
I'm having like Vietnam flashbacks to watching the video of the guy torch his entire Dark Elf army when Age of Sigmar dropped.
Yeah,
And
he
now
lit
they're
that
bringing
shit on
back-
fire.
Now they're
Yeah.
bringing back the fucking like 9th edition old fantasy or whatever.
Whoops.
Guys, probably like I don't regret it.
I'll just buy it again. We're all terrible consumers. Anyway, more rules.
I wouldn't.
Blast.
Lighting it on fire?
Well,
Yeah, no.
let me read the rest of these things, and then we could talk about what we think about the rules. Blast weapons no longer roll, which is interesting. What I imagine that means is what it used to be was there's a template and it could scatter, so your number of hits varied. And then they changed it to it would be like, oh, like 1d3 hits or 2d6 hits or whatever. Now they're simplifying it, so I guess it just has like a solid number of hits that you just roll for. Like that's it. Like it's a fixed number every time of like firing. That's what I'm guessing.
That's weird to me.
It is. It's super weird.
I understand the point of like simplifying a game, like getting rid of the templates and like maybe getting rid of the random factor, but it is also strange that like here's a unit of like 3 dudes. Oh, they got hit by a fucking what the fuck, a demolisher. Here's 10 hits on 3 dudes. It just kind of doesn't make thematic sense to me. Cause it's like, oh, this blast hit him here. There's all this other blast, but it's damaging them somehow. I don't know.
But you can look at it narratively in a few different ways. Like, oh, if a unit of 3 dudes got hit like 10 times, what does that signify? It signifies that they got hit with like the brunt of it and really got fucked up. Whereas like if they got hit only 3 times, maybe they all just kind of got grazed by the blast or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can justify.
Yeah,
You can
I
figure
understand.
it out. You can headcanon it.
I thought templates were super fun. I kind of miss templates.
I agree with you. I think templates are cool. I also agree with Richie in that I understand why they'd want to get rid of it, just to kind of like speed shit up and not have people holding
You know how
templates.
many, you know how many times, like you remember the amount of times we held that template and we would hit that shit from every
Yeah.
angle? Like
Yep.
cutting that out saves a lot of time.
But here's so counterpoint is more focus on command points, and everyone just starts with more of them. And that's one of the real reasons I dropped out of 8th was I hate the
I have-
command
I don't
point
like
system.
I have maybe the unpopular opinion. I like the idea of just, and maybe not the way they do it, but I do like the concept of here's a chart, here's a bunch of like thematic abilities that your army can use, and you have a resource to use. I do like that.
Just
It's interesting. I'll
to-
give it that.
to me, what I don't like about it is it's hard to plan around. Because when you could just kind of like give off these like special effects and like it's different per unit and per squad and like all that type of stuff, and then you get into shit like where I played guard and they could literally have unlimited command points because if like you had this commander with this war gear, you got to re-roll and you got to roll every time they used a command point. On like a 6, you would gain a command, like just fucking
I'm not saying
bonkers
they do it.
nuts.
I'm not saying they do it well. I'm just saying the concept of abilities that are thematic and like fluffy for the army and like a resource to use them is a cool concept. At least that's my opinion.
It's a cool concept, but even if they did it well, I kind of agree with at least I think something that Anthony was alluding to, which is that I kind of miss the days when I just looked at a unit. Not that we play anymore, but like I remember playing in like early to mid 5th when it was as simple as I look at the unit, I know what the unit does. I know exactly what it can do. It just points its thing at me and it shoots, or it fucking gets into melee and it does this. And maybe it has like 1 or 2 special rules or like war gear or whatever, but it's pretty cut and dry. Now it's like, oh, well, there's that unit. I know what it does. But at any given point in time, my fucking opponent might be like, I spend 2 command points and now it pulls this horse shit out of its fucking ass. And there's any number of
like Magic or something in like fantasy or any game. Like,
yeah, but now you're adding that on top of that.
Plus,
Like we already had psychers, but now you're taking psychers and you're going also command points, and it's any fucking unit. It's not like I look at the
Plus,
psyker and my opponent rolls powers and I go, oh, well, that's what he's.
and there's extra layers of complexity already on the game where it's like you don't have to consider just the unit and what command points they're using, but also their commander and any special effects. Also, are they using a sub-army list or anything like that?
It's just like
Are
it's
they
convoluted.
allied? Like, yeah, it gets
now,
really convoluted.
again,
really
I'm not
quick.
saying they do it well, but I like the concept.
I'd rather that be factored into points cost. Like, you could buy any special rule for any unit, it just costs this many points. Like, I think that's a way simpler way to do it.
I don't know about that one.
Well, then
but-
shit, you would love the narrative system that they're probably putting in because it's just going to be planetary empires, and that was the
that's
way
the
planetary
last
empires
thing.
worked.
Yeah,
Was that?
there's a narrative game system probably based on planetary empires, and
I'm assuming it's based on planetary. We don't know that,
Right.
but I'm assuming that it is
but
because
supposedly your guys gain experience and can change, which I imagine leads to purchasing war gear and special abilities. Because that's how else can you do it? Honestly,
the concept of that is cool. Like I don't mind that. It's throwing because here's the thing, you have to approach an idea like that or like planetary empires with a little bit less degree of like tryharding and a little bit more fun. You know what I mean? It's like, oh cool, my Cabalite warrior squad survived and I have this much resource, so I can say, oh, they have this special rule now because they ranked up. Like that's fun.
implying Cabalite warriors will ever survive.
No, absolutely not. But I'm just pulling something out of my ass, right? Oh, my witches survived somehow
That's
by
even
miracle.
crazier.
And now they have whatever the fuck. Like it's a cool idea and I like it. It's more fun than it is like competitive balance, and I'm fine with that. Like that's cool.
Remembers that fucking
like
one
that.
game we played? Was that like the last game of the old Eldar Codex we played, where we had the one Guardian squad versus like the one fucking Cabalite warrior squad?
Yes. Oh yeah. And you fucking I used to do this thing. That's one of my favorite games we've ever played because it was awesome. I used to do this thing. We fought to this insane standstill where all we had left was I had one squad of Cabalite warriors with a Dark Lance in it. Because what I used to do is I would take 1 foot squad of Cabalite warriors with a Dark Lance just to hold an objective in the backfield and like snipe with a Dark Lance. And you had 1 Wave Serpent with a Guardian squad, and you tried to ram them off the objective, and they had 1 shot with the Dark Lance because they get that like stand or die rule or whatever back then, where when you ram them, they get like 1 attack. And I was like, oh, well, I'm obviously going to do it with the Dark Lance. And I hit, and I think you had to roll like a 6 or something like that to hit on a stand or die. And I hit, and I rolled a fucking pen and then an explode on the Wave Serpent. So it took out like half my Cabalite warriors and all your fucking Guardians and shit. It was one of the sickest endings to a game that I think we ever played. And it was just a fucking absolute bloodbath. And then it was like right after that the edition turned over, and it became impossible for me to actually play a game like that ever again. And that's when I was like, fuck this. I'm out. But anyway, let's talk about this fucking edition, shall we?
Yeah, just because of the focus on command points, I'm probably not gonna be super excited for it. Who knows? Who knows? They may rework it into a way that it's like not trash. And who knows about any of the minor balance changes?
Honestly, this is. I'll always advocate for like trying the game again, especially if it is quote unquote better. I still don't like, and I don't know if they're changing this or not. Probably not. I don't like the focus around detachments.
No, I hate that shit.
Yeah, like the shit, like I like making my list. Here are my troop choices. Here are my heavy support. And then now it's like I take the Thunderstrike Barrage detachment, and then here is the tactical squad, and they have special rules, and this is special. It's just too much. And maybe we sound like a bunch of crotchety old men who don't want to change.
Bro, you took the words out of my
I'm
mouth.
not old, goddammit.
Like,
It
it's like they want to like speed the game up, and that's cool.
Yeah,
But honestly, making lit is so fucking like.
It's
that's a sentiment. That's a sentiment that I've held for a very long time. Ever since like detachments first started seeping into the game, I used to talk to you guys about this all the time, where I was like, I feel like this shit is poison because it's poisonous to the game. Because it's like, okay, here's this formation or this detachment or whatever. It's like, let me pull something out of my ass. It's like, oh, if you take like whatever your fucking army is, but as long as you have like 3 units of crisis suits in it, you get these special rules. Okay, well, I was going to do that anyway. So why the fuck wouldn't I just say, like, I would literally never build my list and then be like, well, I'm not playing this detachment because it doesn't make sense. I would say, oh, I'm playing this detachment because I just get free shit and my army's just better.
I use that all the time.
I hate it.
That one loadout where it was like 2 broadside teams and a hammerhead, and they all just get tank hunter. It's like,
I can't stand that. I can't stand that because it's like if you're gonna take those units, you're never gonna say, "Well, I just don't play."
It
with
also
that
led,
detachment."
it also
You're
led to
always
the
gonna
problem.
say
Honestly, some of them sucked. includes. Like, fuck, I remember one Eldar one, like, in the book. It's just like, it's a Farseer on a bike and 3 Windrider jet bike squadrons. It's like, jet bike squadrons are busted. Why would I not just take that?
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the Farseer.
Problem is that those became, like, the list stagnated because there were just some that were just so much better. If you were playing Tyranids, you had to play the double Flyrant list because it was the best version
that shit was
of
busted
Tyranids.
for a while.
Well, and ultimately they still only like really ranked like mid-high tier, but still.
No, yeah, but if you were gonna play them, like, why would you do that?
Nids had, because nothing else came close. And again, we're talking about convoluted because again, you had to compare that to also what like sub-faction you were, and then command points on top of it. It became a mess to keep track of what a unit actually did. Like, you had to ask like 20 questions to figure out what version of that unit am I even looking at right now.
I miss the days where it was just like 5th edition was fun. And it was fun because it was just like, I pay points, I get the unit does this. My opponent knows what my fucking unit does. I know what his fucking unit does. There's no tricks up our sleeves. I'm not gonna whip command points out of my ass at the last second and be like, oh, now I have Cybolt ammo, like, suddenly. Like, there's none of that shit is a thing. I just know like what that unit does, and he knows what my units do. We've paid our points costs, and we're gonna play now. And there's no detachment horseshit. We just bought units and we made a list, and now we're gonna play. And maybe it's fun because back in 5th it was like relatively balanced. I mean, like, there were issues with like Grey Knights and shit especially, but for the most part it was balanced, and it was fun. Now it's convoluted as fuck. We have these command points, we have these detachments. It's all fucking horseshit. There's things you're never not gonna take, because if you're gonna take those units, why wouldn't you take the detachment? Like, it's just trash. Like, just make it so that you buy the unit does what it does, and we just play the game and we have fun.
I think
little sidebar there. I don't know what the 5th edition Grey Knight fucking like hatred's for. I didn't feel it when I played. I didn't say they were.
They were really good.
Power weapons, and the power weapon thing was nuts, and like Cybolt ammo was really good. But I remember struggling every game to beat your Dark Eldar.
Well, that was a matchup. That was a matchup issue because that was like Grey Knights were super expensive, so like I could just drown them in like splinter rifle fire, and splinter cannon fire, and it was like, well, eventually you're gonna roll those 1s and 2s on your power armor, or those 1s in your Terminator armor, and there's so much fucking volume of fire I can do when I'm venom spamming.
Where I felt it was against like the Nids. Like, I felt like the Nids was a good matchup, but Dark Eldar like a struggle.
Nids were like absolutely disadvantageous against Grey Knights because you had force weapons. So you literally couldn't take monstrous creatures without them being one-shot by every single squad on the table. Every little poo baby could be like, oh, I just one-shot the Carnifex.
I think
that was
tabletop 40k for me was early 6th, when they kind of just like cleaned up the rules and stuff, but they didn't drop the killer codexes, which was 6
that was when
and 6
you're talking
Eldar.
about
Dark Angels, back when there was hope.
Yeah. When Dark Angels came out, we were like, oh, this is good, yeah. and then it went to shit real fast.
Wasn't it? Was it Tau right after, where we were all like, uh-oh?
I think it was like one more maybe.
No, I think it went. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it went Dark Angels. Oh, I remember exactly what it was. It was Dark Angels, Chaos. Yeah, it was Chaos and Dark Angels. Then it was Tau. Then it was, I think, Nids, and then it was Eldar.
Eldar? No, it was Eldar before Nids, I'm pretty sure.
Was it? I thought there was one between Tau and Eldar.
I don't think there was. I could be wrong. But...
I thought there was. There's no easy way for me to look that up, and I don't care enough. But regardless, it was like Tau, maybe something, maybe not, and then Eldar. And it was like Tau and Eldar that were
spirit breaking because they came out and they like gave an apology tour and they were like, the next one's gonna be better, and then it was like the worst codex that it's ever been.
Bro, there were so many rumors and leaks hyping up Nids before that codex. I don't know if any of you remember that.
I do.
But everyone,
none of them are true.
Everyone was like, dude, they're gonna have hive fleets. It was basically like chapter tactics before chapter tactics, where everyone was like, dude, they're going to have hive fleets, and the hive fleets are going to influence like the rules you get on some of your units, and it's going to be fucking sick. And then the codex came out, and we got none of that.
Nope.
None of that shit happened.
I think there was also like a rumor saying they were going to get like their Eternal Warrior back with the Synapse, and
yeah, that was a rumor.
A lot of the fucking problems, but nothing. Yeah, nothing.
And there's that pyrovores like killed themselves and other like fun.
Well,
Yeah.
that was in 5th as well. I think they were trash in both codexes.
And then Dark Elder came out, and they got rid of like Husk Blades being like,
Yeah, they,
AP or whatever.
And that was on top of everyone getting Ignores Cover that edition, which just
and they've
really hurt Dark Eldar.
That was an addition fucking problem with like all the other codexes, and just the fact that rule existed at all. But another bit, the Dark Elder Codex like did that was one of the first inklings we got of like, here's weird shit that just got nerfed, and here's a bunch of shit that got buffed because they're clearly just trying to sell you those models. Like they nerfed Husk Blades and all that shit, but they buffed all the Flesh Cult stuff, which nobody really ran in the previous edition. And it was like, oh, I get it. You're doing this. Oh, and they nerfed like Ravagers and shit like that because they were like, oh, let's nerf all the shit that we know everyone bought because it was meta. But let's buff the Flesh Cult stuff because then we'll get the money because everyone's gonna buy grotesque models.
Half your fucking heroes.
Yeah, bro. Let's get rid of all the named characters, even though some of them were kind of fun to use, and let's not even consider reworking them at all, like Lady Malice and all that shit. And then let's buff all the Flesh Cult stuff because everyone has to buy that because no one had it before. Because even though Rax and Grotesques were kind of okay in the 5th edition book, we're gonna make them even better, so we get that money.
It's weird to look back. Like how pissed we were at like some of the 5th changes, and boy howdy did we have no idea what was gonna happen.
Oh fuck no! I wish I could go back to 5th. If they never moved on past 5th, I bet we'd all still be playing.
Oh yeah,
because that shit was fun. Even with the old books that didn't get updated, like the old Eldar book and shit, was still pretty cool in the meta of 5th. Like it wasn't a trash codex, and the games were fun. You know what I mean? And even Grey Knights being pretty OP in like some matchups, it was still a fun game. And if 5th never moved on, I think I'd probably still be playing 40k right now. But they fucked me so hard in 6th that I just didn't care anymore. I still don't to this day. I'm still feeling the burn from that shit that I'm like, I don't even really want to fucking look at this new edition. I don't really care. I'm just like waiting for the next fuck up. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, cool, new edition.
Yeah.
What are they gonna fuck up with this one?
You want to know what I'm excited for? And maybe I'm alone in it. I really want to see how if they fuck up, or if they actually do it good. I want to know what the new fantasy is gonna be. Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy into that shit, but it could be cool.
What if it's good?
What do you mean you're not gonna buy into it? What does that mean?
Like I'm not gonna buy a fucking fantasy army to play fantasy.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like I want to know if it's actually good.
Was buy into it that confusing? I thought that was pretty cut and dry.
I got what you meant.
Like they ain't getting Games Workshop ain't getting no fucking money from me.
It won't be good.
Well, I mean, it could be fucking amazing. I'm still not gonna give them any money anymore. I think I'm past the age of giving Games Workshop money for almost anything. The only thing they've ever put out in recent years that I think is kind of cool are those board games. Like I think like that Blackstone Fortress board game looks kind of cool and shit like that. But other than that, I don't really give a.
I mean, if they released a new like RPG, then it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. But they also don't release their own RPGs. They license them out and they killed the Fantasy Flight ones.
I sit here and I say, hey, if their fantasy comes out, like 9th edition old school fantasy, and it's actually good, I'd like to play it. But I mean, I'm just gonna go to their website, look at the prices, and be like, "Yeah, no,
fuck that. I'm not paying $100 for Blood Knights or whatever."
It's hard to believe that it's gotten worse. Like we were already like, man, $20 for a squad of tax is insane, and now it's like it's getting to like 30 plus.
Me and Richie were looking at prices recently. Like this was like a month ago, maybe or something like that. Like nothing has changed. It's the same.
In fact, it got worse.
Yeah, it got worse. It's real bad. I don't get it. It's so confusing. Like your business model is just let's milk. It's got to be just let's milk the people who are playing the game. Let's not try to get like new people into playing 40k. Who knows? Maybe that'll change with this new fucking edition. I'm willing to guarantee you that it will not, and they're not going to change prices whatsoever. They're not going to offer anything at like a better deal. It's still going to be trash and extremely expensive to get into it.
Yep.
Blood Knights will be $100 until the fucking end of time.
And especially as they add more apocalypse stuff into like regular 40k, where now you
are they still doing that? Is that still a thing? Like, is apocalypse still kind of a
I haven't heard that they're scaling that down, so I don't see why they would have stopped.
No idea.
Lords of War were a mistake. D weapons were a mistake.
Oh god.
Anyway,
Oh god, bringing D weapons in the base game.
they did
What a
that.
travesty.
I can't
know.
believe it.
I know
Anyway,
they did. I'm having fucking PTSD flashbacks of D weapon.
So that's essentially the podcast. That's essentially our feelings.
Wasn't the Wraith Knight the first unit to get D weapons
I think
in
so, yeah.
base
Yep.
40k? Yeah, that was cancerous.
But the first normal unit to get like D weapons were actually Wraith Guard.
So it's all
Oh
Eldar.
yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
right.
all
They're
Eldar.
It's
fucked
all
up.
Eldar's fault. Fuck
Yep.
Eldar.
Well, again,
Eldar Wraith Guards D cannons
Let's just-
actually
let's
became
just
D
put it-
weapons.
Let's just put it as clear as possible. 6th edition Tau and 6th edition Eldar were cancerous books. They were the things that like really was like, okay, that's it for this game.
there's a problem here. It's
Actually,
not gone
it
now.
wasn't 6th edition Eldar that actually I mean it was good and probably a little cancerous, but that wasn't where the D weapons started. That was 7th edition.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
D weapons
Sorry.
came later, but 6th edition was the start of the
Oh
problem.
yeah, it was the start. Because
And I
Wraith
remember-
Knight
'cause I
wasn't a
remember-
lower one in 6th. It was just a
'cause I-
heavy support.
I remember when 7th edition came out for Eldar, and I was like, and we were like kind of hopeful that maybe they were gonna rebalance things and make it a little less fucked up, and it didn't do that like whatsoever. I remember they like nerfed Serpent Shields very, very mildly, and I can't even remember what the nerf was, but they were still completely fucking busted.
But
And I remember like Wave Serpent Spam, I'm pretty sure was still meta, even though they nerfed Serpent Shields.
Long
Yeah.
story short, Matt Ward, we're sorry. We didn't know.
Please come back, dude.
Please,
Matt
please, Matt Ward.
Every book, dog. They'll all be on the same fucking playing field. Write them all. The lore will be trash, but at least you'll fucking like we'll have some semblance of
similar.
internal balance. What's Matt Ward doing nowadays? Does anybody know?
I don't
No.
know.
I'll Google him and let you know later.
All right, I'm googling him right now.
All right, thanks everyone for listening to us.
Fuck all of you.
What are you doing
Bye.
listening to us?
I hate you. 40k puts hate in my heart.
Join our cult.
Join our cult.
Go to DotA and look for the cult of pink eye.
Bye bye.